the door, I'm home at last, and I'm soaking through and through. And then you handed me a towel, and all I see is you. And even if my house falls down now, I wouldn't have a clue, because you're near me. And I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life.
This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester. Transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Thursday, May 8, 2025. National Parent Teachers Association voices support for Teaching Council Bill. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness labels resistance to Teaching Council Bill narrow political focus. Information Minister concedes that there is room for improvement in trust between media and the government. In regional news, cosmetics founder appointed to head Ministry of Trade in TNT. In international news, black smoke again emerges from the Sistine Chapel chimney. In sports, a knockout stage of WPL set to kick off with a doubleheader later this Thursday. And in business, US and UK expected to announce deal to reduce tariffs on Thursday. The details after the break.
What makes a burrito bun so attractive?
We have a history of strong financial performance and growth, demonstrating resilience.
Our leverage remains low relative to our peers.
The bond is available in both Jamaican and US dollars, ranging from 10 years between 2 to 10 years at attractive interest rates. Plus, it's expected to be listed, which will enhance liquidity for all investors.
Burrito bonds are burrito strong. Download our prospectus, call a burrito advisor, and invest today.
Catch the first news of the day, a comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. President of the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica, NPTAJ, Stuart Jacobs, says that the Jamaica Teaching Council, JTC bill, will help to improve the educational landscape of the country. He added his voice to the ongoing public debate on the bill while speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Wednesday.
The parents of Jamaica are saying we have no issue at all with the fact that the submissions by the JT and others ought to be included in the bill. But if you look at our history, most or all of our bills weren't done on the first day and they continue into infinity. The Jamaica Teaching Council bill, as far as the NPTAJ is concerned, is a transformative legislation that I believe can reshape our education landscape for the better. Why? This bill, it allows for immediate registration of trained teachers, enabling us to swiftly fill classrooms with qualified educators. This is critical in addressing teacher shortages and ensuring our children receive the instruction they deserve without delay. Many aspiring teachers may need additional training to meet licensing requirements.
The JTC bill passed through the Senate with bipartisan support 2 weeks ago. Legislators across the floor agreed on 38 amendments to the legislation. It's set to be debated in the House of Representatives. However, the bill has come under much contention from the opposition PNP and the Jamaica Teachers Association JTA. Both the opposition and the JTA say the bill has several flaws which must be addressed. But Mr. Jacobs says the essence of the JTC bill is being ignored.
I think sometimes we're getting too much into who is supposed to be in the bill and what is supposed to be in the bill. And I'm looking at the substantive nature of the bill. And because it will offer scholarships being offered and from time to time to upskill our teachers. And remember, you have the next 2 years before it becomes really effective. So that will give an opportunity for the activities to expand the teaching pool and empower more individuals to pursue in the profession, knowing that in 2 years' time, the asking of the bill will become effective.
Stuart Jacobs, the president of the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica, NPTAJ. Meanwhile, Mr. Jacobs says the contention surrounding the bill needs to be addressed in a more professional manner.
It has 2 years before it comes into effect. It's 21 years, 22 years we have waited for this bill to become effective. What is happening if we wait 24 hours or 24 more months?
And that's the... And that's...
Someone is sitting and talking. Let's sit and talk as a country, as a people. Education should not be something that is constantly in the news. It is something as if it's a game. We need to stop it. We need to sit down as adults and responsible people, government and private, and a union, which is the JTA, is sit and let's talk, man.
Stuart Jacobs, the president of the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica, NPTAJ. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the growth of the country must not be sacrificed by narrow political conversations. He was reacting to concerns regarding the Jamaica Teaching Council JTC bill.
There are schools where education is not happening, teaching is not happening, where those students will graduate and will not be able to contribute. And that is why it is so important that all the elements have to come together and putting in place the professional standards and the professional institutions for teaching. That is just one element of ensuring that we can really prepare our human resources to make the necessary contribution to development. We must not allow our development to be sacrificed at the altar of narrow political concern. We must think broader than individual interests, special interests, and look at what is in the national interest.
Addressing students and staff at the Micah University on Wednesday, Prime Minister Holness said his government's only intention in passing the bill is to professionalize teaching. He rejected suggestions that the bill represents an attempt to betray and control the country's educators. Prime Minister Holness noted that while technology is changing the nature of the workforce, teachers can never be replaced.
There is a sense that artificial intelligence can replace the teacher. That teachers now don't even need to mark papers. They just feed it through a program and the program says, yes, they got 30% of the required content or they got 90% of the assignment grade. Yes, that might very well be so. We now have a new tool that increases your efficiency. But the teacher is indispensable. Because when a student comes to you in class and say, Miss, this is what I read, and I've checked the sources and it is correct, the next question for that student would be, yes, it may be factual. Is it right? And that is where context matters. And that is what your new job is going to be.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Information Minister Dr. Dana Morse Dixon says work must be done to improve the level of trust between the media and the government. She was reacting to Jamaica's latest rankings of press freedom by Reporters Without Borders, RSF.
It's quite unfortunate, but obviously it does indicate that we have to do more work. And I think there's always room for us to do more and continue doing more. And so it's really important through the Press Association of Jamaica and also through the Media Association of Jamaica that we have a lot more dialogue. Let's look at how we can do more. We have to work through how we build that trust more and more, because it is a priority of our government. We are one of the most open governments you will find. We are here standing before you every week saying, ask us whatever you want, and we will give you an answer. No question is ever off limits.
Reporters Without Borders released its World Press Freedom Index for 2025 last Friday. Jamaica has dropped 2 spots to 26 of 180 countries. That's down from 24 last year. According to RSF, freedom of the press has continued to improve in Jamaica over the past 2 decades. However, it noted that there's a growing gulf of distrust between government officials and the media in the country. RSF says this factor has contributed to a decline in institutional respect for press freedom. Minister Maurice Dixon, who was speaking at a post-cabinet media briefing at Jamaica House on Wednesday, says the government remains open to the local media landscape.
It was interesting to read the report because sometimes when you read those international reports, it feels very foreign to us and our reality. Because this morning is an example of good governance. We have a post-cabinet press briefing. We bring our Deputy Prime Minister, we bring our Commissioner of Police, we bring our Minister of State in National Security, we bring other leaders here. And every post-cabinet press briefing, we bring our Ministers of Government and we invite the media. And any question can be asked. No question is off limits. And so this is really us saying as government that we're open to scrutiny. We're open to questions.
Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, Information Minister. Minister of Constitutional Affairs, Marlene Malahoo Forte, is chiding the opposition for allowing the country to spend significant time and resources only for the PNP to turn its back on the constitutional reform process. The minister gave the damning assessment during Wednesday's meeting of the Joint Select Committee considering the Constitution Amendment Republic Bill.
It is unfortunate that having proceeded in good faith on what we believed was consensus, we have spent so much state resources, time, money, and other resources to get the work going. And the parliamentary opposition reneged on the commitment it gave that there was consensus for us to move forward.
Speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Malahoo Forte accused opposition leader Mark Golding of flip-flopping on his stance regarding the country becoming a republic. The following day, she said Mr. Golding proceeded to attach issues upon which the country had no consensus, thereby putting the process in jeopardy. While not outright admitting the reform agenda has stalled at this time, the minister told the committee that she accepts there are significant limitations on what can be accomplished now.
Having said that, I believe that we have gained much in the process so far. What we have learned has enabled us to correct a lot of inaccuracies, some of which are written in textbooks and are taught in the universities. I still remain excited, though I know that we are limited in how much we can achieve for the remainder of the life of this parliament. But what the work has done is further open our eyes to the kind of responsiveness, the kinds of reforms, and the kind of responsibility that must come from government. And I remain grateful for every one of you who has made your voice heard.
Marlene Malahoo Forte, Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. Murders and major crimes continues to trend down. National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang says up to May 5, murders are down 39%. He provided the update at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing at the office of the Prime Minister.
For January this year, which I repeat, January 1 to May 5, 2025, we had 237 murders, which represented 148 fewer lives lost. At that time, it was 38.4% reduction. This morning, as of this morning, the figure is actually 39%. And we would like to commend the Commissioner and his team for the work they're doing, supported by the ministerial staff. Major crimes are down by 20%, which means the rape, robberies, etc. So the trend is going well.
3 murders were recorded on Tuesday, May 6. The first occurred in White River Pines Estate in St. Anne shortly after 6 p.m. The second took place in the Kingston West Police Division. A man was shot and killed at the intersection of West Road and 14th Street just before 9 p.m. And a 23-year-old fisherman, Andre Harvey, otherwise called Chulups of River Road, Lances Bay in Hanover, was shot dead in his community shortly after 9 p.m. Those homicides came on the heels of a murder-free Monday, with no homicides reported for that 24-hour period. Additionally, April saw the lowest number of homicides recorded in any one month in Jamaica in 25 years. The month of April ended with 44 reported homicides. Minister Chang says the weekly murder rate has also been on a steady decline since 2024.
As I articulated in the House last week, we are not just seeing a decline in crime over year, but we are recording some historic low crime statistics. The lowest weekly murder count in 2024 was 6 murders in Christmas week of 2024. It was certainly, from a point of view of violence, the most peaceful Christmas we had in 25 years. The weekly murder rate, in fact, had been on decline since September of last year, except for 1 week in November. We had a spike which the Commissioner can explain, and the police keeps a pretty good track. And what impresses me as the layperson, the minister at the top, is that whenever anything goes wrong, I get a rational explanation. And as feeling that the police understands, they know what is happening, and they respond appropriately. So you don't get a prolonged spike.
Dr. Harris Chang, Minister of National Security. The Denham Town Police are searching for 5 men wanted in connection with a shooting in the area. One of the men is Anthony Williams, otherwise called Pops, who is also wanted for escaping custody. On Wednesday, detectives from the Denham Town Police carried out snap raids in the area in search of Williams. During the raids, a black Taurus 9mm pistol with a magazine affixed was found concealed inside an old damaged refrigerator at a premises along Victoria Avenue. The magazine contained 3 live rounds. Another premises along Albert Street was also searched, and 1 pistol with an empty magazine affixed was found hidden in a narrow gap. No one was arrested in connection with the seizures. The Denham Town Police, they're urging Williams to turn himself in by 6 p.m. today, Thursday. The warning has also been issued for the 4 other men wanted in connection with the shooting. They are Shane Barnes, otherwise called Bappo, and 3 men known only as Tika, Ray J, and Flower. All 4 who have been listed as for persons of interest are from Denham Town. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Want to learn more about local government and how it's working for you? Then subscribe to our YouTube channel MLGRDJA-TV and visit our website www.localgovjamaica.gov.jm. The time by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development is
6:17.
Delicious meals, poolside cocktails, right on the beach. Disconnect from your daily worries and reconnect with the one you love. There's no paradise like home. This summer, enjoy a romantic all-inclusive escape at Couples Tower Isle, Couples Sanssouci, Couples Negril, or Couples Swept Away from $295 USD per night. Take advantage of this offer today by visiting Couples Resorts at couples.com. Conditions apply.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-371-425 or 876-754-3825 APC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, founder and managing director of Seisha Cosmetics, Satya Kama Maharaj, has been appointed Minister of Trade, Tourism and Investment in Trinidad and Tobago. Maharaj was sworn in on Wednesday. He was elected as a Caribbean Entrepreneur of the Year in 2016 and was a finalist at the World Entrepreneur of the Year in Monaco in 2017. Maharaj brings over 45 years of business experience, having nurtured a homegrown brand into 50 markets and topping Amazon charts. The businessman was one of the last two members to be sworn into the newly installed UNC administration. The other person was Philip Edward Alexander, who holds the post of Minister in the Ministry of Housing. International black smoke has again poured out of the Sistine Chapel chimney, indicating no pope was elected on the second or third ballots to choose a new leader of the Catholic Church. It means the cardinals have not reached no decision yet. The smoke appeared just before noon after morning voting sessions to elect a successor to Pope Francis. According to the BBC, a muted roar went up from St. Peter's Square as soon as the black plume went up. The cardinals will now return to the Vatican residences, where they are being sequestered for lunch. After that, they will go back to the Sistine Chapel for the afternoon voting session. 2 more votes are possible today. Now people are streaming out of the square as no more smoke is expected until at least 1600 local time. It's the second day of the conclave. The reporters at the scene say a helicopter is flying low over St. Peter's Square and that big screens are continuously showing the famous chimney, often flanked by a seagull or two. Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, the Dean of the College of Cardinals, says he hopes that a new pope would be elected by this evening. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
When I got my first traffic ticket, I forgot to pay it within 30 days, and I had to go to court. Thank God I went, because if I didn't show, I would have been arrested. Pay your ticket early and avoid penalties. If you have questions or concerns, contact the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Traffic Ticket Processing Unit via WhatsApp at 876-0270 or call 876-928-1162 or email ttpu@jcf.gov.jm. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Celebrate Mom with the Jamaica Observer's 4 Moms Mother's Day promotion. Win big for Mom with a $50,000 cash prize, appliances, gift certificates, movie passes, and more. Just spend $6,000 or more with your multi-link card. Grab the Daily Observer, complete the entry form, and submit it with your receipt. 4 lucky moms will win. Enter by May 16th and make this Mother's Day unforgettable. See the Jamaica Observer for more details. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Time now for your morning sports. The knockout stage of the Red Nephew Jamaica Premier League is set to begin on Thursday with the first leg quarterfinal doubleheader at Sabina Park. Tivoli Gardens and Montego Bay United, who featured in the final set of preliminary round games on Sunday, will meet in the first game at 6 p.m. The reigning champions, Cavalier, will then square off with Portmore United at 8:30 p.m. The teams will meet again in the second leg on Monday at the same venue, with the winners on aggregate advancing to the semi-finals. The winners of the Tivoli versus Mobay game will face Mount Pleasant in the semi-finals, while the winners of Cavalier versus Portmore will face Arnott Gardens. The final is set for Labor Day, Friday, May 23. Jamaica's men's hockey team ticked off another victory at the 2025 CAC Games qualifiers in Mexico on Wednesday, easing past Bermuda 2-0 in their latest game. The prolific Philip Dawson was again on the score sheet for Jamaica, along with Rashad McCarthy. It was Jamaica's third win from 4 games at the tournament, and it has taken them up to second in the 6-team tournament. The top 2 will qualify for the CAC Games, from where they will have an opportunity to play at the Pan Am Games. Jamaica will next be in action on Friday against host Mexico, who beat them in their second game at the tournament. Now, India's men's cricket coach Gautam Gambhir wants a cessation of matches between India and Pakistan during the ongoing tensions following the Kashmir militant attack. 26 civilians were killed in Indian-administered Kashmir last month, and India has accused Pakistan of supporting militants behind the attack, an allegation Pakistan has rejected. The nations currently only play each other in global events because of long-standing tensions and are due to meet at the Women's World Cup later this year. Gambhir said there should not be anything between India and Pakistan until the situation is resolved. India and Pakistan last met in the Champions Trophy in February. That match was played in Dubai because India refused to travel to Pakistan for the tournament. Fixtures at world tournaments such as World Cups and the Champions Trophy are dictated by the International Cricket Council and the event's schedule. India-Pakistan fixtures generate significant income, are regularly the most watched, and are played at the largest stadiums. Outside of that, matches are arranged by the national boards, but India and Pakistan have not met since Pakistan toured India in 2013. Their men's side could meet at the T20 World Cup next year. Finally, in your morning sports, the New York Knicks secured a narrow 91-90 victory over champions the Boston Celtics, overcoming a 20-point deficit at TD Gardens on Wednesday to take a 2-0 lead in their NBA Eastern Conference semifinals. Josh Hart at 23 points and Karl Anthony Towns at 21 and 17 rebounds led the way for the Knicks, who will host Game 3 at Madison Square Garden on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma City Thunder leveled their Western Conference series with the Denver Nuggets after a 149-106 victory in Game 2. Shea Alexander scored 34 points for Oklahoma. The series now heads to Denver for Game 3 on Saturday. And that's it for your morning sports.
Every day, we use our feet to walk, run, and take us to amazing places. But your feet can do something even more amazing. A simple step can change a life. Join Guardian Group's Shine 5K Night Run, formerly the Keep It Alive 5K, and make us try to support the Noel Holmes Hospital, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and Project STAR. Saturday, May 10 in Kingston and Saturday, May 24 in Montego Bay. New name, but same epic vibe. Register today at run2shineja.com or runningeventsja.com and see you at Shine 2025.
In business this morning, Downing Street says Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer will make an announcement about a deal with the U.S. on tariffs later today. A spokesperson said the Prime Minister will always act in Britain's national interest for workers, for business, for families. The UK government has been seeking an agreement to lower tariffs since President Donald Trump imposed them on almost every country in the world last month. President Trump appeared to allude to the agreement when he posted on social media on Wednesday night, saying he would announce a major trade deal with a highly respected country. On April 2, Trump announced steep tariffs on dozens of trading partners before announcing a 19-day pause on the levies. Governments from around the world have been scrambling to strike deals with Washington before the new deadline passes. The U.S. has left a 10% global tariff in place, which included the UK, though the longtime ally of America was not subject to the administration's higher reciprocal tariffs. The UK is also subject to a 25% U.S. import tax on steel, aluminium, and cars. Now, Apple is asking an appeals court to pause a U.S. district judge's recent ruling in a case which could determine the future of its highly lucrative App Store. Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers found last week the tech giant willfully violated an order she had previously made in a case filed by Fortnite maker Epic Games. That order, handed down in 2021, demanded Apple refrain from anti-competitive conduct and pricing and allow outside payment options in the App Store. Last week, she determined Apple was flouting that demand, a finding Apple has now called extraordinary. The iPhone maker has alleged in a court filing that her order unlawfully prevents the company from controlling core aspects of its business operations. The company's lawyers wrote that a federal court cannot force Apple to permanently give away free access to its products and services, including intellectual property. Finally, in foreign exchange trading, the Jamaican dollar has lost 15 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $159.87 against the benchmark U.S. dollar. The Jamaican dollar has lost $1.64 and will open trading today, selling for an average $117.09 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican holds firm and will open trading today, selling for an average $212.22 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:31.
Switch to your JUTC Smart Fare Card by May 31, 2025. The temperature brought to you by JUTC Smart Fare Card. Transforming your daily commute with smarter, easier, and more reliable travel is
25 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, also 25 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 20 degrees Celsius.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Every day, we use our feet to walk, run, and take us to amazing places. But your feet can do something even more amazing. A simple step can change a life. Join Guardian Group's Shine 5K Night Run, formerly the Keep It Alive 5K, and make us try to support the Noel Holmes Hospital, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and Project STAR. Saturday, May 10 in Kingston and Saturday, May 24 in Montego Bay. New name, but same epic vibe. Register today at run2shineja.com or runningeventsja.com and see you at Shine 2025.
Delicious meals, poolside cocktails, right on the beach. Disconnect from your daily worries and reconnect with the one you love. There's no paradise like home. This summer, enjoy a romantic all-inclusive escape at Couples Tower Isle, Couples Sans Souci, Couples Negril, or Couples Swept Away from $295 USD per night. Take advantage of this offer today by visiting Couples Resorts at couples.com. Conditions apply.
This Mother's Day, make her smile with something as special as she is. At Fragrance and More, the all-occasion store, we've crafted the perfect gift baskets just for mom. Choose from personalized baskets, goodies baskets, fresh fruit baskets, fruits and goodies combos, beautiful flowers, and so much more. Call or WhatsApp us today at 876-346-6882.
Oh no, oh no. Here I come with love and not hatred. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life. Envy no one, no wish to be with no evil man. For there'll come the day when you'll be whipped by the feathers and live up roots children. Oh yeah, live up past the children. Yeah. My head is anointed and my cup runneth over. Yeah. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life.
A very good morning to you. Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide this morning. NTM, thank you so much for coming on over and joining us in the space. Of course, the space is Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. That's our YouTube channel. Welcome to all our YouTubers this morning. For the peeps out there in Radio Land, good morning to you as well. Joining us from the app this morning, good morning to you. And if you're joining us from the website, listening live from the website, hello to you as well. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, May 8, 2025. I'm Tawna Thomas, and as promised, in studio with me this morning is the PNP Standard Bearer for East Central St. Catherine, Raymond Price. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Tawna. Good morning to your listeners.
Good morning. How are you?
Nobody's going to believe this, but I'm a little nervous.
You're a little nervous. No, man,
Yeah.
Raymond. You're used to this.
I am, but each format is a little different. And of course, I'm your guest, and your listeners expect a certain caliber when you have a co-host. So I'm trying to make sure that I meet that mark.
You're no stranger to Nationwide. You've
True.
appeared. I was just thinking about it yesterday, Raymond, and I said, you've appeared on our year in reviews. You, you always show up for our final Blue Dot coverage as well. There are other things having to do with a political discussion that you're here. So you're no stranger to the airwaves.
True.
So I understand that this is a new format. This is the first time you're co-hosting on here or appearing on any of our programs in this capacity.
Absolutely.
But I have no doubt that you'll do fine.
And of course, I must say to you and to your listeners, I've said it privately, but you're one of the voices I enjoy listening to when I can in the morning.
Yes, thank you.
And I particularly remember your What's on My Mind when you spoke about some of the truths about the history of your alma mater, the Hampton High School for Girls.
And the Hamptonians out there, Raymond, they'll tell you, oh no, it's Hampton School.
That's Hampton School. See? I made my first boo-boo for the morning.
No worries. Yeah, they'll come and tell you, no, it's Hampton School.
Hampton School.
Yeah,
right.
but yes. I remember you giving some feedback. I believe it was to Cliff on that, what's on my mind that morning.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I like the spirit with which you did the research and how profoundly you spoke about the impact the education at Hampton has had on your life.
Yeah.
And the bit of a discomfort knowing that some aspects of the history were unsavory.
Yes.
And I like the way you concluded on that. That the important thing was looking forward on and building on the foundation and
Absolutely.
helping to alert other girls, other Hamptonians about what their purpose was rather than so much the history.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But that is not what is on your mind this morning, but what is on your mind?
All right, so Jamaica slips again on the World Press Freedom Index is on my mind. The World Press Freedom Index is an annual ranking of countries compiled and published by Reporters Without Borders since 2002, based upon the non-governmental organization's own assessment of the country's press freedom records in the previous year. A GIS report posted on April 26, 2020 stated that Jamaica's position then was 6th of 180 countries. In the most recent listing, Jamaica is at 26, slipping 20 notches in 5 years. But what if the actual ranking isn't the real indicator of a decline in traditional democratic values and societal standards? Like most indices, an actual rank reflects a cumulative situation, one of which could be the rapid evolution of the media landscape, where celebrity and popularity, or mass appeal, have become more prevalent in deciding which source audiences flock to. In societies like the United States, it's no longer surprising to see a particular broadcaster with followers online of a larger amount than the media houses for which that broadcaster has worked. Here in Jamaica, presenters employed to media houses and who do op-ed features for a specific media house often have their own podcasts where they express detailed opinions on a particular issue, often with nuances and statements that would not have made their editor's cut. These are global cultural realities which are also active and alive in Jamaica. Yet, is there still value to a system, an index, which reflects the opinions of a critical mass of individuals committed to ensuring certain set standards and norms remain in practice across their profession? So Jamaica's significant slip of 20 places over 5 years must be viewed within a context of other developments in the national space over that time. Serious press freedom enthusiasts and entities such as the Press Association of Jamaica and other purveyors of civil society should be busy with real assessments. What else has happened within our society that accounts for this continued slip? Are there corollaries that can be drawn to events such as no other than the head of government taking an institution such as the IC to court, where sub judice rules blur the lines of what can be carried or dissected or poured into? Or where a vested organization such as the Police Federation describes a civil society group such as Jamaicans for Justice as a terrorist organization? Are there tangents that can be drawn from statements such as, "We know your IP addresses and have established partnerships with social media entities to find your identity. We will hunt you down"? Are these factors to a growing perception that press freedom is under threat? Could the Press Freedom Index be used for broader utility as a commentary on the strengths or otherwise of Jamaica's attainment of an egalitarian society, where the values of fairness and justice are not just casual use terms, but are cardinal points along with integrity and accountability as the compass points that will direct our growth and evolution as a mature democracy and a society in which its citizens are at peace with each other and can achieve their dreams and aspirations? I believe it can be used that way and should be used that way, and that none of us, especially those who have the honor from time to time to occupy positions behind microphones and in front of cameras, should be comfortable with an average decline of 4 spots per year for every year in the past 5 years with the Press Freedom Index. That's what's on my mind.
I see our producer shifting a bit. I take the point that you're making, Raymond, about the Reporters Without Borders placing context as well on that other aspect of the media landscape that is not traditional. Mm-hmm. All the bloggers out there as well, who are very much part of media, very much disseminating information, whether it be true or not. And that out there is helping people to, it's setting an agenda, helping people to form opinions on things. It's setting narratives out there. And all of them aren't necessarily true.
Right.
And you have to sit down and think about how does that information motivate people to do things? How does that affect democracy? And for me, when I read the review in relation to Jamaica, I said, man, I think that context, the build out of that context, the review of that context is missing.
Yes.
And a lot of focus needs to be placed there as well, because if you look at the landscape now, in many instances, the bloggers out there, when you watch their live streams or whatever content they're placing up and the views on it, thousands of people, thousands of Jamaicans have watched the comments that people are giving. And when you listen to what they're saying, you're going, but that's not true.
Yeah, when did that happen?
When did that happen?
I was there. That's not what happened.
That's not what happened. And people have walked away believing, unfortunately, that that is the case. How is that affecting democracy? How is that affecting this whole idea of, how the country moves forward, the whole conversation about press freedom and all of that? So I think Reporters Without Borders needs to spend a little more time digging down into that aspect of media in the country.
Yeah, because if they are trying to measure standards based on an ideal that existed in the past without application of what we are now talking about, the wider context of persons who are a part of the broadcast space. Because I tell people all the time, I'm not a journalist, and I have great respect for persons who are journalists. But me explaining that may not have the same impact outside of my saying it when persons in Hamilton Gardens listen to it, because it's like, Mr. Price, we see you on CVM sometimes, we hear you on the radio sometimes. This morning you're on Nationwide. How can you not be a journalist? Because the established understanding is if you turn on the radio and you hear somebody's voice, they are on the radio because they are a part of the press, they are journalists. And what we do have today in the wider media landscape are very opinionated people. Some of them are celebrities from different genres, maybe football, and they're now doing an op-ed, or politics, now doing an op-ed, and therefore they have a following which is independent of the skill or the format that they're participating in at that moment.
And they're in a space that is not regulated.
And if somebody like you, them don't decide them like you. If somebody not like you, Jamaicans, them don't decide them not like you. Very few people are able to sway an audience to change their opinion. So when you find the audience seeking out their preferred broadcaster, if that broadcaster decides to go on a frolic of their own or to create mischief or to foment discontent, you can actually have public havoc. We've seen it in other parts of the world with people becoming so energized by a concentrated view which is other than truth, and they act that out in the real world, and it becomes public disorder issues, if not criminal issues. So the Reporters Without Borders could, I believe, do a little deeper dive and update their frames of reference.
I think so.
But it's not to say, though, that because they have used a standard rubric over all of these years, that if you fall one or two or rise one or two, then I probably wouldn't bat an eye. But when you realize that in 2020 we were considered the society at number 6 with respect to press freedom, and while it's 180 countries, and we are now at 26, people may say, oh, well, we're still in the top 30. But a few years ago, we were in the top 10. How comfortable are Jamaicans as a society to see that? And if the fall was in something like the happiness index, I might not even be having this conversation, because happy is so subjective. And I do believe that a country that treasures its democratic traditions and the connections we've had over the years with other countries, that something like this should cause the conversation we're now having.
Yeah. All right, going to take a break and come back with more on NTM.
Oh,
talking about love. It's hard to build a better nation with different races. When every day you awoke, there are newly faces. No brotherly love, no sisterly love, for there are none. And nothing to erase from each line, horrible traces. Yet they talk about love.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:48. JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The Temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is 25 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 25 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 20 degrees Celsius.
Answers Mother's Day sale up to 70% off. Up to 70% off the best brands for mom. Answers Gifts and Home, Tropical Plaza, and Answers for Children, Tropical Plaza and Sovereign Center. Answers Mother's Day sale till May 17, 2025.
Yo, my boss. Yo, my general. Yo, my king. The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon, some stackerific sauce, and layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Every day, we use our feet to walk, run, and take us to amazing places. But your feet can do something even more amazing. A simple step can change a life. Join Guardian Group's Shine 5K Night Run, formerly the Keep It Alive 5K, and make us try to support the Noel Holmes Hospital, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and Project Star. Saturday, May 10 in Kingston and Saturday, May 24 in Montego Bay. New name, but same epic vibe. Register today at run2shineja.com or runningeventsja.com and see you at Shine 2025.
Time now for our first report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Good morning to you, Ludlow.
Good morning, Tona, TP. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Morning, Mr. Raymond.
Yes, how are you doing, Ludlow?
How are you doing, sir? I'm listening. Well, let me just tell the motors what's happening out here and the commuters. It's bright and sunny. You know, there was some rain. We had some show in the corporate areas today, and maybe it could be out of town too. But so far, things are moving along good. If you're coming out of places like the airport, Norman the airport, you know, heading towards that roundabout by Harborview, or if you're coming from as far as Port Royal, these roads are really free-flowing, except for, you know, when you get to that roundabout, coming from the 7 Miles area, Bull Bay, right to that to exit by that roundabout, to get onto Sir Florida Glasgow Highway. You know, a slight build up there, but nothing to be alarmed about. And going along, further along, Sir Florida Glasgow onto Winwood Road, going through Rennox Lodge, Springfield area, that's in the eastern Kingston area, going up Mountain View, no problem. Similarly, if you're on Michael Manley Boulevard, heading out to Port Royal Street, it's really good going. And if you're heading through Raytown community, you won't have a problem. Going up South Camp Road, it's pretty good movement, except for when you're in the side area of the area where you have Spanish Town Road to get to downtown, or you're in the 3 Miles push into the area to get to Marcus Garvey Drive. Those areas are building at the moment. Because you remember, from 3 Miles, and if you're exiting off the toll, Portmore toll, onto the Marcus Garvey off ramp, it brings a lot of traffic. So it's building all the time. It's a first report for the money until 7:18. It's back to your Turner in the studios.
Thank you so much, Ludlow. That first report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Up next, your word of the day. Going to our word of the day now, and the word of the day spelt
Premonish. That's Premonish.
Premonish. Premonish. Premonish.
Well, it means, the meaning is exactly what the words sound like.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing is the pre, right? Not the why pre, like how we in Jamaicans say, but pre, something they come. And it is to warn somebody of a possible future danger or problem. So, you know, much times I had been premonished and didn't know until I felt it. You know, when your grandmother said you're due, that was the premonish.
Yes.
And of course, when you did not conform, the lick no was the actual reality of what you were being warned about.
So premonish is your... Don't ask. Indeed. That was the warning beforehand. Yeah. Premonish is your word of the day. It's a verb, the warning beforehand. And dictionary.com is telling us that the word was first recorded between 1520 and 1530. First recorded between 1520 and 1530. Certainly, this is one that you guys can use in your everyday conversation. Spelt again, Premonish. Up next, our features at the top of the hour, the news.
As we journey through life, it's natural to accumulate possessions, mementos from travels, gifts from loved ones, and items we've collected over the decades. However, holding on to too many things can lead to physical clutter and mental unrest. Studies have shown that decluttering can reduce stress and anxiety, creating a more serene living environment. Minimalism isn't about living with nothing. It's about living with what truly adds value to your life. By focusing on essential and cherished items, you can create a space that reflects your current needs and desires. This shift can help in improving your mental clarity and a greater sense of control over your environment. Start small. Begin with a single drawer or closet. Tackling small areas can provide a sense of accomplishment and motivate you to continue. The 4-box method. Label 4 boxes as keep, donate, sell, and discard. As you sort through items, place each into the appropriate box. This method helps in making clear decisions about what stays and what goes. Cherish memories digitally. For sentimental items that occupy space, consider taking photographs and storing them digitally. This way you preserve the memory without the physical clutter. Set realistic goals. Allocate specific times for decluttering sessions and don't rush the process. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. A concept gaining popularity is the Swedish practice of döstädning, or death cleaning. It's a process of decluttering with the intent of easing the burden on loved ones in the future. While the term might sound morbid, it's truly about reflecting on what items are meaningful and ensuring your possessions don't become a hassle for family members later on. Embracing minimalism can lead to financial benefits too. Selling unneeded items can provide extra income, and reducing unnecessary purchases saves money. Moreover, a clutter-free environment can decrease the risk of accidents, contributing to better physical health. Decluttering isn't just about tidying up. It's a transformative journey that allows you to focus on what truly matters. By letting go of the excess, you make room for experiences, relationships, and joys that enrich your life.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Attending staff meetings can be the most intimidating part of starting a new job. What do I say and what do I not say? When do I arrive? I'm Tana, and your Lifestyle Pages starts now. The environment of a meeting requires some careful navigation to maintain your professional image, whether the meetings are one-on-one, with several colleagues, or with external clients. For a meeting in someone's office, don't arrive more than 5 minutes early, as they may be prepping for your meeting, another meeting later that day, or trying to get other work done. You may make them uncomfortable, and that is not a good way to begin your meeting. Don't arrive late, ever. If you're going to be late, try to let someone know so that people are not sitting around waiting for you. Don't forget that being on time for a meeting means arriving 5 minutes early, and for an interview, arrive 10 minutes early. When a meeting runs late and you need to be somewhere else, always be prepared to explain where you need to be, understanding that the value of where you need to be will likely be judged. Do not interrupt people. This is a bad habit to start and a tough one to end. There's a time and place for confrontation, and a meeting is almost never the place. You will embarrass and anger other people, and you will look bad for doing it. Give people time and space outside of meetings to reflect on issues that need to be dealt with. So watch the clock and don't be late. That was your Lifestyle Pages. I'm Tana.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston Ormo Bay. The temperature by National Supply is...
Still 25 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 25 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 20 degrees Celsius.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 for this morning, Thursday, May 8, 2025. Murders are down 39%. National Parent Teachers Association voices support for Teaching Council bill. And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness rejects suggestions that the bill represents a betrayal of educators. In international news, black smoke again emerges from the Sistine Chapel chimney. The details after the break.
News at 7 is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Murders and major crimes continues to trend down. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says up to May 5, murders are down 39%. He provided the update at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing at the office of the Prime Minister.
For January this year, which I repeat, January 1 to May 5, 2025, we had 237 murders, which represented 148 fewer lives lost. At that time, it was 38.4%. Reduction this morning, as of this morning, the figure is actually 39%. And we would like to commend the Commissioner and his team for the work they're doing, supported by the ministerial staff. Major crimes are down by 20%, which means the rape, robberies, etc. So the trend is going well.
3 murders were recorded on Tuesday, May 6. The first occurred in White River Pines Estate in St. Anne shortly after 6 p.m. The second took place in the Kingston West Police Division. A man was shot and killed at the intersection of West Road and 14th Street just before 9 p.m. And 23-year-old fisherman Andre Harvey, otherwise called Trollops, of River Road, Lances Bay in Hanover, was shot dead in his community shortly after 9 p.m. Those homicides came on on the heels of a murder-free Monday, with no incidents recorded for that 24-hour reporting period. Additionally, April saw the lowest number of homicides recorded in any one month in Jamaica in 25 years. The month of April ended with 44 reported murders. Minister Chang says the weekly murder rate has also been on a steady decline since 2024.
As I articulated in the host last week, we are not just seeing a decline in crime over year, but we are recording some historic low crime statistics. The lowest weekly murder count in 2024 was 6 murders in Christmas week of 2024. It was certainly, from a point of view of violence, the most peaceful Christmas we had in 25 years. The weekly murder rate, in fact, had been on decline since September of last year, except for 1 week in November. We had a spike which the Commissioner can explain, and the police keeps a pretty good track. And what impresses me as the layperson, the minister at the top, is that whenever anything goes wrong, I get a rational explanation. And as feeling that the police understands, they know what is happening, and they respond appropriately, so you don't get a prolonged spike.
Dr. Harris Chang, Minister of National Security. The Denham Town Police are searching for 5 men wanted in connection with a shooting in the area. One of the men is Anthony Williams, otherwise called Pops, who is also wanted for escaping custody. On Wednesday, detectives carried out snap raids in search of Williams. They reported finding a black Taurus 9mm pistol with a magazine affixed concealed inside an old, damaged refrigerator at a premises on Victoria Avenue. The magazine contained 3 live rounds. A premises on Albert Street was also searched, and 1 pistol with an empty magazine was found hidden in a narrow gap. No one was arrested in connection with the seizures. The Denham Town Police is urging Williams to turn himself in by 6 p.m. today, Thursday. The warning has also been issued for the 4 other men wanted in connection with the shooting. They are Shane Barnes, otherwise called Bappo, and 3 men known only as Tika, Reggie, and Flower. All 4 who have been listed as persons of interest are from Denham Town. President of the National Parent-Teachers Association of Jamaica, NPTA, J. Stuart Jacobs, says the Jamaica Teaching Council bill will help improve the country's educational landscape. He added his voice to the ongoing debate while speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Wednesday.
The parents of Jamaica are saying we have no issue at all with the fact that the submissions by the JT and others ought to be included in the bill. But if you look at our history, most or all of our bills weren't done on the first day and they continue into infinity. The Jamaica Teaching Council bill, as far as the NPTA is concerned, is a transformative legislation that I believe can reshape our education landscape for the better. Why? This bill, it allows for immediate registration of trained teachers, enabling us to swiftly fill classrooms with qualified educators. This is critical in addressing teacher shortages and ensuring our children receive the instruction they deserve without delay. Many aspiring teachers may need additional training to meet licensing requirements.
The JTC bill passed through the Senate with bipartisan support 2 weeks ago. Legislators across the floor agreed on 38 amendments. It's set to be debated in the House of Representatives. The bill has come in for criticism from the opposition PNP and the Jamaica Teachers Association. Both say the bill has several flaws which must be addressed. But Mr. Jacobs says they are ignoring the essence of the bill.
I think sometimes we're getting too much into who is supposed to be in the bill and what is supposed to be in the bill. And I'm looking at the substantive nature of the bill. And because it will offer scholarships being offered and from time to time to upskill our teachers. And remember, you have the next 2 years before it becomes really effective. So that will give an opportunity for the activities to expand the teaching pool and empower more individuals to pursue in the profession, knowing that in 2 years' time, the asking of the bill will become effective.
Stuart Jacobs, the president of the National Parent-Teachers Association of Jamaica. Meanwhile, Mr. Jacobs says the contention needs to be addressed in a more professional manner.
It has 2 years before it comes into effect. It's 21 years, 22 years. We have waited for this bill to become effective. What is happening if we wait 24 hours or 24 more months?
And that's the
it's sitting and talking. Let's sit and talk as a country, as a people. Education should not be something that is constantly in the news. It is something as if it's a game. We need to stop it. We need to sit down as adults and responsible people, government and private, and a union, which is the JCA, is sit and let's talk, man.
Stuart Jacobs, the president of the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica, NPTHA. And the Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, has weighed in on the debate.
There are schools where education is not happening, teaching is not happening, where those students will graduate and will not be able to contribute. And that is why it is so important that all the elements have to come together, and putting in place the professional standards and the professional institutions for teaching. That is just one element of ensuring that we can really prepare our human resources to make the necessary contribution to development. We must not allow our development to be sacrificed at the altar of narrow political concern. We must think broader than individual interests, special interests, and look at what is in the national interest.
Addressing students and staff at the Micah University on Wednesday, Prime Minister Holness said the government's only intention in passing the bill is to professionalize teaching. He rejected suggestions that the bill represents an attempt to betray and control the country's educators. Prime Minister Holness noted that while technology is changing the nature of the workforce, teachers can never be replaced.
There is a sense that artificial intelligence can replace the teacher. That teachers now don't even need to mark papers. They just feed it through a program, and the program says, yes, they got 30% of the required content, or they got 90% of the assignment grade. Yes, that might very well be so. You now have a new tool that increases your efficiency. But the teacher is indispensable, because when a student comes to you in class and say, Miss, this is what I read, and I have checked the sources and it is correct, the next question for that student would be, yes, it may be factual, is it right? And that is where context matters, and that is what your new job is going to be.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says more can be done to improve the level of trust between the media and the government. She was reacting to Jamaica's latest press freedom ranking.
It's quite unfortunate, but obviously it does indicate that we have to do more work. And I think there's always room for us to do more and continue doing more. And so it's really important through the Press Association of Jamaica and also through the Media Association of Jamaica that we have a lot more dialogue. Let's look at how we can do more. We have to work through how we build that trust more and more, because it is a priority of our government. We are one of the most open governments you will find. We are here standing before you every week saying, ask us whatever you want, and we will give you an answer. No question is ever off limits.
Reporters Without Borders, RSF, released its 2025 World Press Freedom Index last Friday. According to the report, Jamaica has dropped 2 spots to 26 of 180 countries. That's down from 24 in 2024. According to RSF, freedom of the press in the country has continued to improve over the past 2 decades. However, it noted that there's a growing gulf of distrust between government officials and the media in the country. RSF says that this factor has contributed to a decline in institutional respect for press freedom. Minister Morris-Dixon, who was speaking at a post-cabinet media briefing at Jamaica House on Wednesday, says the government remains open to the local media.
It was interesting to read the report, because sometimes when you read those international reports, it feels very foreign to us and our reality. Because this morning is an example of good governance. We have a post-cabinet press briefing. We bring our Deputy Prime Minister, we bring our Commissioner of Police, we bring our Minister of State in National Security, we bring other leaders here. And every post-cabinet press briefing, we bring our Ministers of Government. And we invite the media. And any question can be asked. No question is off limits. And so this is really us saying, as government, that we're open to scrutiny. We're open to questions.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Information Minister. Minister of Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malhu Ford is chiding the opposition for allowing the country to spend significant time and resources only for the PNP to turn its back on the constitutional reform process. The minister gave the damning assessment during Wednesday's meeting of the Joint Select Committee considering the Constitution Amendment Republic Act.
It is unfortunate that having proceeded in good faith on what we believed was consensus, we have spent so much state resources, time, money, and other resources to get the work going. And the parliamentary opposition reneged on the commitment it gave that there was consensus for us to move forward.
Speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Malhu Ford accused opposition leader Mark Golding of flip-flopping on his stance about the country becoming a republic. The following day, she said, Mr. Golding proceeded to attach issues upon which the country had no consensus, thereby putting the process in jeopardy. While not outrightly admitting the reform agenda has stalled at this time, the minister told the committee she accepts there are significant limitations on what can now be accomplished.
Having said that, I believe that we have gained much in the process so far. What we have learned has enabled us to correct a lot of inaccuracies, some of which are written in textbooks and are taught in the universities. I still remain excited, though I know that we are limited in how much we can achieve for the remainder of the life of this parliament. But what the work has done is further open our eyes to the kind of responsiveness, the kinds of reforms, and the kind of responsibility that must come from government. And I remain grateful for every one of you who has made your voice heard.
Marlene Malhu Ford, Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. In international news now, black smoke has again poured out of the Sistine Chapel chimney, indicating no pope was elected on the second or third ballots to choose a new leader of the Catholic Church. It means the cardinals have not reached a decision on which of them will succeed Pope Francis. The smoke appeared just before noon after morning voting sessions. According to the BBC, a muted roar went up from St. Peter's Square as soon as the black plume went up. The cardinals will now return to the Vatican residences where they are being sequestered for lunch. After that, they will go back to the Sistine Chapel for the afternoon voting session. 2 more votes are possible today. And that's it for the news at 7. I'm Tawna Thomas.
News at 7 was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:16.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocharis, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Drax Hall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
25 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, now 27 degrees Celsius out in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 20 degrees Celsius.
Win with love this Mother's Day. Use your JMMB Money Transfer prepaid Visa card between April 21 to May 30, 2025 for a chance to win one of 3 $15,000 Fontana gift certificates, plus cash back from paying toll and shopping with your card. But that's not all. Participate in this promotion and enter to win your share of a $2 million grand prize in the Win with Love promotion, ending on June 31, 2025. Receive money anytime, 24/7 using Visa Direct through MoneyGram, Zoom, or Remitly, or directly with Ria and Zoom. Visit jm.jmmb.com/money-transfer for full details on how to enter and win. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply. Plug into the sun with Peak Energy Solutions. We are your affordable provider for everything solar. Grid tie or off-grid solar P systems, solar air conditioners, panels, lithium batteries, solar supplies, and installation. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hills, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
Welcome back. We now go to Ludlow McLean for our next updates. What's happening on the streets, Ludlow?
Oh, Raymond, morning again.
Morning.
You, listeners, motoring, public transporters, all stakeholders in the sector, and, not to forget our visitors. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And those who have departed, we hope you had a good tenure or a good time. The roadways still busy. Those of you coming from places like the Spanish Town bypass, or you're coming out of, that's in St. Catherine, by the way, coming out of the St. John's Road, you're onto the Spanish Town bypass. Remember, it's going to be busy. As a matter of fact, this area is really busy every morning on that Old Harbour Road, coming to the bypass, then onto the Mandela via, Jose Marti in that vicinity of the roundabout. So if you're heading eastbound, be prepared for some traffic as they make your way out. It's moving, however. So if you're coming off the north-south or Edward Seaga Highway, it's going to be busy right at that intersection, but making it out to 6 miles. And once you get to 6 miles, that's where it's going to find it quite active, from 6 miles to 3 miles. And then vehicles coming out of Weymouth Drive from off Washington Boulevard onto Weymouth Drive, you have to be content with the traffic coming, going southbound along Spanish Town Road. Those of you who are not able to, you can always make it onto Henley Road, which is in the Waterhouse community, or Penwood Road. Those two roads can take it to Bay Farm Road. And then once you hit Bay Farm Road, you decide whether you want to make it onto Seaward Drive or further down onto Walton Park Road. And then Walton Park Road, you can get onto Newark, then to Newark Avenue, Keating Avenue, then you go further onto Hadley Park. However, be prepared for some traffic on Hadley Park Road, especially if you're making it off Woodland, Parent Drive, Woodland, is onto Hadley Park Road. There's traffic heading eastbound all the way up to Half a Tree. And Half a Tree Square, quite busy, congested, especially when you try to make it onto South Oden Avenue to get onto Constantine Road, because all lanes are busy on that southbound leg off Constantine Road. And then from there, going further down to Halfway Tree Road. So it's a busy morning, and believe me, after this report, there are a lot of intersections that will be busy with traffic buzzing all in all spaces. So there you go. We urge you to be safe, and as usual, be on the alert, and the use of the mirror is so important. And those of you who are overtaking, please make sure that your judgment is almost perfect. All right? We see a lot of poor overtaking, and if you're not a skillful driver, sometimes it causes a problem. So, as usual, at Street Smart, your safety is all concerned. Over to you, Raymond.
Thank you very much, Ludlow.
That was Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Up next, the front page.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. I'm Tona Thomas.
And I'm Raymond Price.
So, on the front page this morning in NTM, cost of living for the aging. The cost of living for the aging population is a critical concern globally as life expectancy increases and birth rates decline. Older adults often face growing expenses or relying on fixed incomes such as pensions or retirement savings.
Among the most significant financial burdens are healthcare costs, including medication, chronic disease management, and long-term care services. Additional key expenses, including housing, utilities, basic daily needs, and transportation, are areas where costs can accumulate quickly, particularly for those with limited mobility or support networks.
With most seniors dependent on fixed incomes, inflation continues to erode their purchasing power, threatening the stability of their financial well-being. Tackling these challenges requires a coordinated response through sound policy, strategic community planning, and greater emphasis on financial literacy to ensure our older population can age with dignity, security, and independence. Joining us to explore this important topic is Professor Denise Eldermeyer-Scherer, the director of the Mona Aging and Wellness Center at the University of the West Indies. Welcome, Professor Scherer.
Thank you, and good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Prof. We're going to start the ball rolling with a basic but important question. What are the most pressing financial challenges currently facing older adults in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean?
I think we can look at that from 2 or 3 points of view, because you have different categories of older people, because we have older people, and for them it's going to be basic cost of living, the fact that many of them don't have a pension. So again, there's 2 aspects to that. We're talking to both the younger population who need to take pension seriously and to the older population. For the older population, it's about looking at ways to meet this cost of living, the backyard gardens, the tires to put vegetables in, because you can't get them. It's about looking at your health and your health care, because although they are well, 72% of them do have a chronic disease and therefore do have health care costs, even if well. So it's about knowing, I think one of you mentioned it, it's knowing what's available. So you have to maximize. You can't be proud. You can't say, I'm not using that because it's a government program or it's not for me. You have to know what's out there and to maximize it. So JADEP, NHS, DrugServe, you have to know what's available through the public sector. Our primary health care clinics are very good. And we do have older people that use both systems. They will go to their private doctor for their annual checkup and review, but they will also access the health centers near them for the everyday care. I think that looks, so it's cost of living. Now, you also have sick older people, yes, who have chronic health care needs. That's a little more difficult, because if you haven't taken out health insurance, and again, we're looking at only 20%, so we're looking at 80% without. And we can't blame them, because remember, when these people were young, like the 2 of you, we weren't talking about life expectancy and old age and those things. They expected to retire at 60, because it was still 60, and to be gone by 65 or 66. They did not anticipate living 20 years after retirement.
Yeah. And the culture was different back then, because especially growing up in rural Jamaica, you heard people saying that they're picking up a pension.
That's right. Now, a word about rural, Raymond. There's still that love. You may not have as many children, but rural people seem, and I'm saying seem because we don't have data. We have some data on rural. The community still helps older people.
Yeah.
I remember in St. Anne seeing an older lady who had come for that once-a-year checkup, and she had a system of bells. She lived on a hill, and she had some young people around her, and she would ring the bell when she needed something, a light bulb changed. So there's that. You're still seeing that community spirit in rural Jamaica, and you actually see it in some of our inner cities. And we need, as we talk about all of going forward and being first world, let us not lose that community spirit. Let us find ways to support it and make sure people continue it.
And Professor, what are some of the the concerns or the feedback that you hear from Jamaicans who are part of our elderly population in relation to healthcare?
Healthcare is that sometimes you can't get it, and the long waits for investigations. When we do the focus groups with the older people, the actual wait on the day is not as much as a complaint for somebody who has to go to an accident, an emergency, etc., and has to get to work. Older people will see sitting in an A&E a casualty as a social activity. So one gentleman told us from Dallas Mounted, if he has a bus fare and a patty money, he's fine. You did mention one thing that is a concern, the transport. Transport is a big, big concern. Some of them can't go up the steps of the buses. Yeah. If you try to go up those steps, they can't do it. They can't stand at a bus stop for long. Some of them do have arthritis, heart conditions. Transport is a big, big problem. Housing is a mixed bag. The last survey we did, 78% of older people owned the house they lived in. Okay. Now, owning a house
that's pretty good.
Quality. Yes. Because remember, in your grandmother's day and my grandmother's day, no matter where you came from in the strata of society, you had to own a house. It could be a board house that they fixed up, but it was theirs. Now, what they don't have is money for repairs. Yeah. So you will, and they don't have, and this you see in some of our middle class areas, lack of pension means lack of money to pay light bill and water bill. And they are not giving up that house because it represents their success in life.
It's actually an often misunderstood or misdiagnosed feature of older living. Because they would have spent their earning years paying the mortgage. And some of them have about 4 or 5 years left on the mortgage. But in the fixed income years, they have to juggle the mortgage, the utilities, and the medical expenses, and oftentimes get into financial difficulties. So I'm happy that you raised that point about the struggle between the utilities and the other expenses, Prof.
May I raise another point on housing, because we're about to go into the hurricane season?
Go ahead.
They often can't physically climb on a roof. So they often do not do enough preparation for hurricane due to inability to do it. So they will hear that the storm is coming, but they can't go and clean up outside the yard. So this is another role for communities and church groups. Remember the older people in your community, and when you know it's coming, see who needs help.
And
they may not have... Sorry, go ahead.
Right. I want to pick up on that point of the community-based support, Professor, when we come back from the break. We're going to take a quick break and come back with more on NTM.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:31 a.m.
Fix up with Fleetwood products for your home improvement, personal care, and aromatherapy needs. They have your well-being in mind. Available at retailers island-wide. The temperature by Fleetwood Jamaica is
27 degrees Celsius here in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius over in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 22 degrees Celsius.
Outperform, outlast, with top performance,
Jackama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Fancy leg tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
This Mother's Day, make her smile with something as special as she is. At Fragrance and More, the all-occasion store, we've crafted the perfect gift baskets just for mom. Choose from personalized baskets, goodies baskets, fresh fruit baskets, fruits and goodies combos, beautiful flowers, and so much more. Call or WhatsApp us today at 876-346-6882.
Every day, we use our feet to walk, run, and take us to amazing places. But your feet can do something even more amazing. A simple step can change a life. Join Guardian Group's Shine 5K Night Run, formerly the Keep It Alive 5K, and make us try to support the Noel Holmes Hospital, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and Project STAR. Saturday, May 10 in Kingston and Saturday, May 24 in Montego Bay. New name, but same epic vibe. Register today at run2shineja.com or runningeventsja.com and see you at Shine 2025.
Yes, me get the last cheese. Taste the beat. Brothers and sisters, at the end of Easter service, we have cheese. Taste the beat. But one day we get no bun and cheese. Taste the beat. Serve, sell me some bun and cheese. Taste the beat. Why, this looking nice with some tasty cheese. Taste the beat. Could I have some cheese, please? Taste the beat. Make we get on real bad with the tasty cheese, boy. Taste the beat with tasty cheese.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, having a conversation with Professor Denise Aldemeyer-Scherer, who is the director of the Mona Aging and Wellness Center at the UWI, about the cost of living for the aging, as well as other aspects of or factors having to do with the persons who are elderly in Jamaica. Professor Scherer, before the break, was speaking to the importance of community support for those who are elderly. She says the last survey they did, 78% of persons who form part of the elderly population in Jamaica, they do own a house, which is pretty good. But she was stressing that the repairs, they have no money for repairs. And on the break, Raymond and I were speaking of the whole issue of the hurricane season coming up. Many of them who are homeowners may not have had repairs done to their homes for many, many years. And that creates a problem when it comes on to the hurricane season. So speaking to this matter of community support and going out there and ensuring that, you check their roof or the aspects of their home that may need some sort of repair. Coming back to you, Professor Scherer, what role does community-based support and infrastructure play in reducing these everyday cost of living issues or other factors relating to the aging population?
I think it's key, and I don't know what would happen to many of them if that was not there. Many rely on the neighbors next door. We saw that during COVID when they were under lockdown. Many of them spent time at the fence, separated by the 6 foot, and that was their social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about community support because you did mention the declining birth rate. So many of them do not have available younger generations.
Mm-hmm.
And many of the younger generations, if available, don't live in Jamaica anymore. But they talk daily because of internet. It leads into one of the biggest issues that is becoming more and more concerning, long-term care.
Yeah.
I did mention 72% with at least one chronic disease.
You're breaking up just a little, Prof. I don't know if you can shift a bit.
And is that better?
Go ahead and we'll see.
And the likelihood of some limitation in ability to do activities of daily living, something simple as arthritis and your knee. You could have money to go to the shop, but can you go to the shop? So long-term is activities of function. Can you climb into a bath, or do you need it converted to a shower? Do you need... So long-term care is a range from everyday help every day to care because you are bedridden. And that is a big gap. And this is where community care comes in. We know that the government has the infirmaries. We're talking about 2,000 people, and 2,000 beds, and we're talking about people not wanting to leave their house. So we have a concept of aging in place.
Yes.
Older people are fiercely independent. They don't want that help, and they don't want to admit they need it. So you, as a relative, a concerned community person, your church brother, have to just go to the person and say, I come to do X and Y. So it's how you deliver that help as well. But a big issue we are facing as a country with that increased life expectancy is long-term care. It's costly. Costly diapers, special diets. It is costly.
Yes.
Sorry, Raymond.
Prof, there are lessons for younger aging people, are there not? Because as you spoke about the ability to step into a bath rather than standing or sitting in a shower stall, what should someone mid-40s to mid-50s do at this stage as they build out their dream home or convert their home into the home within which they will age in space?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because all of what we're talking about has lessons for the younger generations in preparation. Ensure that at least one bathroom is on the ground floor. Because if somebody has arthritis, has surgery, they cannot go up and down the steps. And it must have a walk-in shower. It must have a walk-in shower. The doorway must be wide enough to accommodate a walker or a wheelchair. So it's practical things. If you are putting in, you say refurbishing, ensure they now have higher toilets so that you don't have to go halfway to the ground. Ensure that at least one toilet in the house is a higher toilet so they can sit and get up without too much press on the body. Those are the things that I will think of.
Can we just reconnect with you, Prof? Still having some distortions in the line there, and we really want to hear what you have to say.
Very critical information.
Let's reconnect with Prof.
As I'm listening to Professor Shera, and I'm thinking, all right, where would I do that refurbishing? And I have an option. What about those persons who don't have an option? What are the messages as we are building out how many thousand homes for the NHT or the HAJ, in taking into consideration that we are living in a changing climate, but B, the reality that you described at the start of the segment, an older aging population with a lower and declining birth rate. How can we start to respond with the national infrastructure from now?
Yeah. Prof is back?
I am back. Can you hear me?
Much better.
All right. I heard you mention NHT, and let me add private developers to that.
Yes.
When building these stories, the apartment buildings, can we ensure that older people or families with an older person get a ground floor or at best a first floor, so that we don't make the older person housebound because of limitations in mobility? So that's one thing that could be a policy. Obviously, most of them now have elevators, but it's really better for the older person to be nearer the ground. They can go outside for walks. That's one. Do you want me to repeat the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay. You need at least one walk-in shower in a house. So if it's only one bathroom, walk-in shower. You need the older person to have the freedom to be able to go and do their activities, their bathing, their whatnot on their own. Bars in the shower so they can hold on. Bars by the toilet to hold on. We now have toilets that are higher. They're about 6 to 8 inches higher. No. Please remember that you can ask your mason, your handyman, to come in and raise the toilet for you by just putting a ring of blocks around the toilet and an extra piece of piping. So if there are limitations in money, you can still do it to make your older person comfortable. You can take a bath and just use concrete. Yes, you want a pretty bathroom, you want tiles, but isn't it better to have the older person feel independent?
Yes.
So there are little things that you can do if you have financial restrictions.
Right. Now, Professor, you're the director at the Mona Aging and Wellness Center at the UWI.
Raymond, can I just say executive director now? We also have Dr. Tyndale.
All right. Thank you for the correction, Prof. The question is, at what age do your clients, or what's the lower age limit for your clients? Because we're all aging, and I like the emphasis of aging rather than aged. But what's the start time? When should I come and register, for example?
Well, we do everybody, because we do a lot of seminars. We did a YouTube thing yesterday on exercise for old people, and we invite younger people to start. But our message is on healthy aging. We target audiences 40, 45. The earlier you start, the better. If you are at risk of diabetes or hypertension because of your family history, then you want to start early. You want to make sure you're not overeating. You want to make sure you have a physical activity program. So we have sessions for all age groups. It's a lifelong process.
Excellent. And you mentioned diabetes, which is one of the chronic NCDs. A lot of persons thought back in the day that if your grandmother and mother or your grandfather and father have it, then you must have it. But those are no longer truths. Because of lifestyle, exercise, and diet, you can avoid it even if there is a predisposition. To what extent are we winning that communication through culture? And bear in mind that we're now entering what I call the red flag season for diabetics, mango time.
And I don't think we're winning it at all, because if you look at the increase, if you look at the recent health and lifestyle survey, you will see the increase in diabetes. And you will see that we're also seeing a lot of new cases in that 70 and over age group. So you can never stop screening for it. And when you look at our levels of, I'm not going to say obesity, I'm going to say being overweight. And culture is not helping that, because you have to have some weight now to be attractive in some of the songs, etc. So culture is not helping us.
Yeah. It's interesting how that connection is made, because there is a celebration of being overweight.
Raymond, as a child, and you all know that I'm in my 70s, when I would come home from boarding school having lost a few pounds because of boarding school, my grandmother was horrified. Something was wrong with me. And she didn't appreciate that as a teenager you were celebrating the weight loss.
And by the way, the issues about weight affect men too. You wouldn't believe the amount of people in the community that told me that I'm getting as fat as a Christmas pig. I guess opposed to Easter or summer pig, but it causes us to want to do more to control the weight now, because the healthier you are during this period of your life is the more of your quality life you can secure independently as you do age. Prof, it's an honor as always speaking with you. Yes?
Let me touch some numbers, because I see the impact of the numbers.
Ooh,
We didn't get that, Prof.
Not hearing Prof so well this morning. I'm not sure what's happening with the lines. Prof, could you shift a little as you make that closing statement before we go to the break? Hopefully
I'm going outside. Let me go outside and see if it's better.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes.
Is that any better?
Getting better.
We are now outside. Can you hear?
Yes, go ahead, Prof.
We need to control the mangoes. Now, don't tell the person have none. suggest they have one and control the amount. Because if you tell me I can't have it, you know I'm going to sneak and have it.
Well,
Prof, I'm going to give you a call after the program to speak to a particular person, and you tell that particular person how many mangoes that person can have.
Cut up the mango and put it in fruit salad so you get the mango taste without too much mango. I'm giving away my secrets now.
yes. A good advice this morning, Professor Shera, Professor Denise Eldermeyer Shera, the director of the Mona Aging and Wellness Center at the University of the West Indies. As always, it was a pleasure having you this morning, Prof.
Thank you, and thank you so much for raising this. It's such an important topic and one we don't give enough attention to because it seems as if it's every day, and it's critical.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break and come back with more.
Chuck fried chicken always ready. Burn Chuck, original crispy. Burn Chuck, Cajun spicy. Burn Chuck, a barbecue. Burn Chuck, we are go a Burn Chuck.
The time brought to you by Burchak Fried Chicken in Kingston, Montego Bay and Ocho Rios is
7:48 a.m.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
27 degrees Celsius here in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 22 degrees Celsius.
Yo, my boss. Yo, my general. Yo, my king. The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon, some stackerific sauce, and layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King. Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Delicious meals, poolside cocktails, right on the beach. Disconnect from your daily worries and reconnect with the one you love. There's no paradise like home. This summer, enjoy a romantic all-inclusive escape at Couples Tower Isle, Couples Sanssouci, Couples Negril, or Couples Swept Away from $295 USD per night. Take advantage of this offer today by visiting Couples Resorts at couples.com. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. We'll be switching gears shortly to talk about the state of our coastal zone and recommendations to protect our little paradise with Dr. David Smith, Director of Research, Innovation and Brand at Smith Warner International. But just before going to Dr. Smith, a number of you were commenting on the conversation we just had with Professor Shera Oren here on the YouTube chat. Said, very important discussion, NNN. I see Corrine saying, what happens when the elevators in these complexes or apartment buildings are not working? This makes those who can't navigate the stairs prisoners in their homes. And Linda Ming said, Linda Ming, where did your comment go? Here it goes. Linda Ming says, all upstairs houses should have a downstairs bedroom and bathroom for the elderly. And I see Booker T talking about commercial spaces as well. Mm-hmm. He says lifts in apartments, and then he says escalators for stores above ground floor. Fontana store in Kingston, well, St. Andrew. Fontana has a working escalator. So those are some of the comments. Angeli Leachman saying person should put slip mats in the shower as well, saying that helps. You heard Professor Scherer talking about reconfiguring the bathrooms to make them more accessible for the aging population, not shower stalls or tubs that you have to climb over into. You know that the mobility issues as you age, there's that concern. So you want to remove those tubs so you can just walk right into the shower without any issues to take your bath daily. Any other comments that I'm seeing here? No. You know what we didn't even tap into as well, Raymond, is the navigating the financial world in terms of the advanced technology for the aging population as well. Many of them are prone to fraud and scamming and all of that because of that bit of inability to navigate that space. But at another time, for sure, we'll have our Professor Scherer to talk about that aspect.
Right. So we now go to the state of our coastal zones and recommendations to protect our little paradise. Dr. David Smith from Smith Warner International is going to join us.
Dr. Smith on the line.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on NTM.
You're welcome. Is that Tona?
It is, and I'm joined with my guest co-host this morning, Raymond Price.
Good morning, Raymond. How are you?
Not too bad, David.
So, Dr. Smith, from your research and field work, how would you describe the current state of Jamaica's coastal infrastructure and ecosystems?
I would say, Tona, that I would give it a passing grade. There have been quite a few initiatives over the years and various locations around Jamaica to try to understand the state of our ecology, coral reef health, seagrasses, mangroves, and so on. And also there has definitely been a push to provide defense, coastal defense works against anticipated sea level rise from climate change impacts, right? So one more recent example of that was along the Port Royal Street to Raytown corridor, where the road was raised and there was a sea defense facility put in place to protect that road, keep it safe perhaps for another 50 years or so. And it also incorporated a safe haven area for the fishermen and fishers of Raytown. So I think it's a mixed bag. There are other areas that perhaps have not fared so well, which would require some, maybe further study and preparation of, let's call them diagnostic approaches to remedying problems. And Hellshire is probably one of those areas that was badly hit last year by Hurricane Beryl. And, it serves, Hellshire is a village that is a primarily fishing village, but it has a recreational component to it strongly, which is, for the catchment area of Kingston and St. Andrew and Portmore. We don't have beaches really the way that the North Coast towns do.
Right. No, Doc, in terms of that aspect of looking where else, you've mentioned along the downtown area, the Raytown area, going into where the BOJ and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs buildings are. But in terms of technology and a data-driven culture to look at other areas of potential risk, places like Anato Bay and stuff like that, what would you suggest more of us should become aware of, and how we can start responding ahead of an emergency to what appears to be a clear and present danger to some of us, or to others it may or may not happen?
I think, Raymond, that what may be required is, and so interestingly you mentioned Anato Bay, and there's actually work going on there. There's a project there put on, coming up, being done, if you will, by JSIF. And so that project looks at quantifying risk from the ocean, from the sea, in terms of storm surge, run-up, coastal erosion, and preparation of designs to to protect those shorelines. So that was interesting that you mentioned that. But I think if I had to answer that question, I think one of the things I recommend is that probably there could be a strategic look, let's call it a hazard and vulnerability analysis investigation for, all of the major population zones, towns of Jamaica that are right by the sea. So, Montego Bay, for instance, Anata Bay is one, Ocho Rios, Kingston partially, it has been partially done, and other areas on the coastal zone where you have concentrations of people living. So by focusing on those areas, you could say, okay, over the next 50 years, for example, what do we expect to see? What are the impacts from, say, climate change or from urban or human impacts on these coastal areas? Are we expecting more erosion, incursion of the sea during storms, flooding from rainfall? And by looking at those various hazard parameters, developing some sort of response mapping, if you will, by which, either you could take you could know where to evacuate if you had a problem when you hadn't put in sea defense preparations or used natural environments, say mangroves or coral reefs or seagrasses to provide that protection, which is another approach, right? Is fostering the ecosystems that exist to help you to survive disasters.
Right.
But I think that would be the problem. That would be the issue, is to strategically, target these areas around the island and develop coastal zone management plans for all of them.
Mm-hmm. And as you're articulating here, Dr. Smith, about the things we could put in place as Jamaica moves forward and focusing on our risk to climate change as well. To your mind this morning, what are the most urgent threats facing our coastlines, and how is climate change accelerating these risks?
Climate change, Donna, is accelerating the risks. And what we're seeing now is that some really excellent work being done out of the University of West Indies, Professor Michael Taylor and his team. And what we're seeing is that the rates of sea level rise are increasing in a way that we hadn't expected before, right? So that's a clear and present threat. And of course, as the atmosphere warms, which it has been doing, the sea is warming as well. So these are fuel for intense hurricanes, right? So Hurricane Beryl, in my opinion, last year was a forerunner or of what could come. I mean, this is a storm that ratcheted up from tropical storm to Category 4 in like 24 to 48 hours. So,
correct.
Hurricane forecasters had not seen that in a really long time, that sort of rapid intensification. So I think that sort of storm could become more frequent. They're very dangerous for us, right? So I think those are some of the things that we need to take on board. And also the impacts of how people relate to the coastal zone. We need to become better stewards, I think, of our own coastal environments, and our own environments, basically.
All right, Dr. Smith, we have to leave it there this morning. We're at the 8 o'clock break. I'd like to thank you for joining us. It's a topic that I have a lot of time for, but unfortunately we don't have that much more time for it this morning. So we'll talk again
Thank
soon.
you very much for bringing me in this morning to discuss this. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great rest of the day.
Dr. David Smith, Director of Research, Innovation and Brand at Smith Warner International. Going to take a break now for Across Jamaica.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
The Coconut Industry Board is celebrating 80 years of serving Jamaica's coconut farmers. The Coconut Industry Board, seeding for the future. The time brought to you by the Coconut Industry Board is
8:01 a.m.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us, is
27 degrees Celsius here in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius over in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 22 degrees Celsius.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica this Thursday morning, I'm Tona Thomas. Alumni chapters of Calabar High School from the US and the UK have donated more than $1.7 million to fund stipends and a celebratory luncheon for the teaching and administrative staff at the school. The donation coincides with the observance of a Teacher Appreciation Week at the Kingston-based school. The alumni chapters represented are based in Washington, D.C., Florida, New York, Atlanta, Toronto, and the United Kingdom. They collaborated with the Calabar Old Boys Association, COBA, and the school's Parent Teachers Association on the project. Head of the Washington, D.C. chapter, Michael McPherson, says that the past students are honored to acknowledge the lifelong impact of teachers who he describes as mentors, role models, and a daily source of strength and inspiration for youth. President of COBA, Major Desmond Brown, says that the effort is not just about the gift, it's about the message it sends. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, is launching a 5-minute weekly television series dedicated to child protection. It's called Picnic Sense and is set to debut on Television Jamaica on May 15. The CPFSA says the series is designed to educate parents, caregivers, and the wider public on practical steps to protect children from harm, especially in everyday situations that often go unnoticed. It says each episode will present real-life scenarios and feature safety tips from CPFSA officers and other child protection experts. The series will also introduce viewers to the engaging Picnic Doctor, played by actor and presenter Kalia Gunning, who will guide families on best practices to keep children safe. The first season is scheduled to run through May and June and will air after the evening news each Thursday, with a repeat on Monday evenings. The head of the CPFSA is Lord Adams Thomas.
Child protection starts with awareness. By airing this series during Child Month, we are reminding all Jamaicans, especially parents and guardians, that safeguarding our children must be a daily priority.
Lord Adams Thomas, CEO of the CPFSA. Picnic Sense is produced by Kaja Productions, known for the popular local series Nammings. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Thursday morning.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Bridge, Savannah, Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891.
This Mother's Day, make her smile with something as special as she is. At Fragrance and More, the all-occasion store, we've crafted the perfect gift baskets just for mom. Choose from personalized baskets, goodies baskets, fresh fruit baskets, fruits and goodies combos, beautiful flowers, and so much more. Call or WhatsApp us today at 876-346-6882.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. So we will, as we did yesterday, we will have some time for your calls this morning coming up at about 8:15. So our studio lines for you, 876-630-9371. That's 630-9371. 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and our digital line is 618-8255. But you also have the YouTube channel. If it is that you want to place your questions in the YouTube chat, you can do that as well. Our channel, Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, is the channel. You can hop on over, place your questions there as well. So Raymond will be taking your calls at about 8:15, 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, and 630-9374, and then our digital line 618-8255. Turning our attention now to Every Tap Counts with ePOS. That's the segment we're on to now. NCB ePOS is a cutting-edge tap-on-phone contactless payment solution that transforms any NFC-enabled Android phone or tablet into a point-of-sale terminal. The solution enables merchants to accept card payments from EMV chip cards, digital wallets such as NCB Pay, and wearable devices with NFC capabilities. Joining us this morning to talk about this exciting merchant promotion, Every Tap Counts with NCB ePOS, is NCB's acting sales manager in the payment services division, Christopher Hall. While we try to get Christopher Hall, we're on with Lorian Bramwell this morning. Lorian Bramwell and Nkrumah, who is the portfolio officer at NCB, still trying to make contact with Lorian. In the meantime, Raymond, on the break, you were telling me that this matter of climate change and the environment is one of your babies.
Yes, actually, that's my bread and butter. Most people see the...
I'm sure a lot of Jamaicans don't know this.
No, they don't. They don't. As a matter of fact, they think that I'm a journalist, or just because of politics, I'm a politician. But my profession is environment and climate change, in particular sustainable energy and climate change. So, yeah, I wear my nerd badge boldly.
So talk to me about that. What have you tapped into? What have you been doing over the years in terms of that aspect of the profession?
Well, primarily in terms of climate change mitigation policies. And that's one of the reasons why I mentioned in terms of how we can use the data of even aging populations and the fact that we are living in a warmer world and we will have higher levels in terms of sea levels, is how you construct buildings using different building designs for the building envelope, which is how a building consumes energy. And also where you place large and important assets. We have, for example, down where Bank of Jamaica is, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is one of the reasons why that seawall Dr. Smith mentioned became so important. But where do we, going forward, when 100% of our tourism sector practically is in the coastal zone, if we should have a significant event that could take that industry offline for a long period of time, how do we try now through policy and programs for mitigation to ameliorate that threat and that risk by bringing more of the country into the tourism product? Or perhaps better put, bringing the tourism product into more of the country.
Yeah. So not just on the coastline, but also internal.
So taking the concept that we're not only sand, sea, and sun to the next level, to the nth level, and bring the rest of the country. Because your visitors want an experience in Jamaica that they can't get anywhere else but Jamaica. Bring them to Craighead instead of always carrying them to Ochi.
Yeah, I agree with that. There are lots of things happening in my neck of the woods in St. Elizabeth as well. Bring them to St. Elizabeth. But Lorian Bramwell and Nkrumah is now on the line for Every Tap Counts with ePOS, our segment looking at the NCB ePOS, which is a cutting-edge tap-on-the-phone contactless payment solution that transforms any NFC-enabled Android phone or tablet into basically a point-of-sale terminal. Lorian, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning to you and your listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us here on NTM. Now, Lorian, tell us about the Every Tap Counts with NCB ePOS campaign. The last time we spoke to an NCB representative, just over 400 merchants had signed up to participate in the campaign. What are the numbers this morning?
All right. So, if I may, Tona, let me just ensure everybody is fully aware of what the campaign is about.
Of course, certainly.
Or to remind them. Thank you. So we have our NCB Merchant campaign. It's Every Tap Counts with NCB ePOS. And again, it's about driving awareness of our latest ePOS tap-on-phone solution. We want to get more merchants on board so they can experience the benefits, and we want to reward them along the way with exciting monthly prizes and a grand prize at the end of the campaign. We kicked off the promotion on April 4th, and we're going to run through to July 25th, so we're giving our merchants plenty of time to participate and win. To qualify, we want our merchants to know that once they have been set up as an NCB ePOS merchant, they will stand a chance to win a monthly prize once they process a minimum of 10 ePOS transactions. And then once they complete 50 or more transactions throughout the campaign, they'll stand a chance to win the grand prize. So let's talk about what the prizes are. Each month, we'll have not one, but 2 lucky winners. So the ePOS merchant with the highest number of transactions will take home $100,000 in cash, and the second highest winner will go home with an Android device compatible with NFC to keep tapping into success. So the grand prize at the end of the campaign, the merchant with the highest number of transactions will win a digital marketing makeover and business consultancy package, which is valued at $400,000. And I just want to zoom in on that a little more. So the winning merchant will be working with a team of experts to elevate their business's digital presence. So we're looking at website development and social media setup to content creation and just going through a tailored digital marketing strategy. For the business consultancy aspect, it offers valuable guidance on financial planning, tax management, and making strategic decisions to help that merchant grow their business. And we're not stopping there. The winning merchant will also receive $200,000 in cash to help scale their business even further. So, Tona, you asked about the merchants that we have now. So, yes, we're happy to report that we have over 900 merchants.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That have gone on
It has
board.
doubled.
Yes, we're happy about that. You know, the range of businesses, of the merchants that are coming on from small to large businesses. And what we get from that is that the business owners across various industries are not just open to digital transformation, but they're actively embracing it, and we're happy about that.
Now, talk to us, Lorian, about the security features of the new ePOS technology.
Right, definitely. So I want to make it clear for the listeners that security is a top priority for us. So just like any other of our payment solutions, NCB ePOS is designed with multiple layers of protection to keep both merchants and customers safe. So to start, all transactions are encrypted end to end. So what that means is that it means sensitive card information is never stored on the merchant's device, right? The ePOS app also uses what is known as tokenization. So instead of transmitting real card data, it generates a secure digital token during the payment process. So the actual card details are never exposed. It goes a step further. By blocking screen recording or screen capture, this helps to prevent any form of visual data theft from the device, right? And another point I want to mention is that our NCB ePOS is PCI DSS certified. And that's the global security standard for handling card payments, which means that the platform meets strict guidelines for protecting cardholder data. So, you know, we want our merchants to feel confident knowing that NCB ePOS is designed with the highest level of security while delivering a smooth and convenient payment experience for their customers.
Lorian, for those who missed how to sign up, how to be a part of this, where can interested merchants go to sign up and start using the NCB ePOS?
All right, thank you for asking, Tona. So for those persons who want to get additional information on how the campaign works, what the mechanics are, we invite you to go online to jncb.com/every tap counts with the S, or whenever it's convenient to you, you may call us on our 24/7 merchant support line. That is 876-935-2600. I repeat, it's 876-935-2600. We're available to you anytime. Call us, as our team is there to support you so you never miss a sale.
And Lorian, how is this campaign helping NCB's broader mission of, supporting those medium-sized businesses, those small businesses, and driving that financial innovation in the country?
Right. So the EPOS campaign itself, Tana, shows our commitment in supporting MSMEs, who are the backbone of Jamaica's economy. So we are giving them easy, affordable tools to grow their businesses, and by rewarding them for using EPOS, we're helping to drive both adoption and financial innovation. And if I might add, we are the first to launch this tap-on-phone solution in Jamaica, and NCB, we're very proud to say we're the first to launch in the English-speaking Caribbean. And I mean, just zoning on the grand prize again, we're offering hands-on training and expert guidance to help merchants strengthen their business skills. And that's something that small to medium businesses wouldn't normally have access to due to limited financial and networking resources. So NCB remains committed to our merchants every step of the way.
And any final closing remarks you want to give if somebody's just joining? You want to remind them of the EPOS solution as well as what they stand to win when they sign up, Lorian?
Yes, thank you. So again, NCB EPOS is our tap-on-phone contactless payment solution, which transforms your NFC-enabled device, phone or tablet, into a point of sale. And so we have our campaign, Every Tap Counts with NCB EPOS, going on until July 25th. We are rewarding our merchants, new and existing, with monthly prizes of $100,000 cash or an Android device. And you're also, if you win the grand prize, you stand a chance to get a digital marketing makeover and a business consultancy package along with $200,000 cash. So to get information on the campaign, please visit jncb.com/Every Tap Counts, or call our 24/7 direct merchant support line at 935-2600.
Lorian Bramwell Nkrumah, the portfolio officer there at NCB, talking to us this morning about the Every Tap Counts with NCB EPOS campaign. Lorian, thank you so much for your time.
And thank you for having me.
All right, going to take a break and come back with your calls. The number is 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, digital line 618-8255. Raymond is waiting to field your calls, your questions.
Apply for your NHD refunds at nhd.gov.jm or via the NHD app. Do not click on any links offering to help you. The time by the NHD is
8:20 a.m.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is
27 degrees Celsius here in capital city Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius out in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville it is 22 degrees Celsius.
JANAC Global Accreditation, promoting consumer confidence, facilitating market access through internationally accepted accreditation and training services. Accreditation, your visa for global access. Accredited once, accepted everywhere. Call JANAC Global Accreditation at 876-968-7790 or visit our website at www.janac.gov.jm.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. I'm Tona Thomas.
And I'm Raymond Price.
All right, and we're in the calling segment. We have about 5-6 minutes for the calling segment as we did yesterday. First on the line, who done it?
Yes, good morning again. Donna Thomas.
Good morning.
Morning to your co-host, Mr. Price.
Good morning. Good morning. Not too bad.
Yes, sir. We don't really have much time, as Donna said, but there are a few questions I have that I want to put to you. You might not be the person I should put them to, but I don't know if Saboli is going to make himself available to come to Nationwide and let us get some questions from him as well.
All right, let's hear them.
But I'll quickly put this one to you. The matter regard, how do we know that he is deducting?
How do we know that?
That he is deducting funds from his salary to his constituency fund that he promised. So, in other words, when he received the salary increase, the 25 million, and he criticized it, but he accepted it and said that he was going to offload some to his constituency fund.
All right, so first correction, he never said his constituency development fund. He listed, which have been published, the recipients. They were charitable organizations. Private money cannot be contributed to one's constituency development fund. The constituency development fund is from a pool of money, taxpayers' money, controlled by the CDF unit out of the Office of the Prime Minister. It's a fixed amount per constituency, and it's an equal amount per constituency. And I wonder if I could get your comment on whether or not you think all constituencies, let's take, for example, a constituency such as East Rural St. Andrew versus a constituency such as Central St. Catherine, one being so expansive in terms of geography and infrastructural needs, and the other one being relatively small and compact, whether or not all 63 constituencies should get the same amount, or if it should be done on a needs basis. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a lot to chew on, but I think that there's some constituencies who would require a little bit more.
I think so too.
Than the other, like for instance, in Mr. Truck's here and some other of the uptown constituencies will require a little less, and some will require a little more.
Yes.
Well, let me jump right now into the college case in his constituency. He alluded that procurement has created an issue for 6 years that staircase has been in a state of disrepair.
Mm-hmm.
And he alluded that it was due to a procurement issue and they couldn't get to fix it and it subsequently collapsed. 6 years. And it took him to get to that while the Prime Minister built an entire housing scheme in 4 years.
Right.
So do you think he was being truthful in reporting that?
Well, I can tell you that I recently heard a statement from Robert Nestor Morgan, the Minister of Works, complaining too that the Troy Bridge completion took a longer time than expected. Well, not completion, commencement, because of the procurement issue. So there is one area where I remember once being listening to a post-cabinet press briefing where at the time Daryl Vaz was supposed to be the one to remove red tape and bureaucracy. I think that ministry responsibility now falls on Senator Audrey Marks. So certainly we have heard from government ministers that the procurement situation has prevented projects from commencing or even being completed on the in time and in budget. Similar remarks were made about the Cornwall Regional Hospital. So the fact that a housing venture was completed within 4 years in one constituency versus the amount of government ministers who have complained that Cornwall Regional is stalled because of procurement, Troy Bridge is stalled because of procurement, even issues in terms of road construction stalled because of supply chain interruption and procurement. We have to either we have to either decide as to whether or not we're going to streamline across the process how procurement is done, or if we want, we can cherry pick this for that and maybe not even comparing apples with apples.
Who done it? Who done it? You are allowed 2 questions this morning, and we have a full line, and we're trying to squeeze in at least 1 or 2 more people. But you should have asked that first.
Here, who done it? Who done it? Link me on my IG at Raymond Price JA, and we'll follow the discussion. You and I can do a live on my IG, and we'll take it from there.
There you go. Who done it? Thank you, Anthony. Good morning.
Good morning, Tana. How are you?
Doing good. My co-host, guest host.
Welcome to NNN.
Thank you, and good morning to you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Raymond, I am assuming that you are still a respected voice in the People's National Party.
That's not an assumption, that's a fact.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you spoke about the index, the media index this morning, and I think your comments were very balanced, Raymond, and I give that to you. But would you disagree with me to say that a lot of the comment that came from the members of your party, particular, and targeted nationwide as one media house and stuff and all of that, do you think that things like those contribute to any downturn in the index that a country like Jamaica would have received?
Well, I started off by going onto the website of the Reporters Without Borders. They wouldn't consider a comment from either a public citizen or a public official or a private citizen as impacting the way they measure the ranking on the index. They actually look on more systemic issues and rate country to country, and also do an in-country assessment. So the fall to 26 would not just be based on where Jamaica is relative to Norway, for example. It will be based on where Jamaica is in 2024 relative to where Jamaica was in 2023. And actually, a lot of what they use comes from reports of persons within the country who are in the professional space of journalism. So the remarks you mention, which are unfortunately sometimes a feature of both political parties. I remember hearing Mr. Cliff Hughes himself say that he measures himself to be doing a good job when the comrades curse him as much as the labor rights do. So it might be more of a cultural approach that Jamaicans have than, beyond what perhaps some people think.
Okay. Well, we could agree then that it would have maybe contribute even a bit.
Based on what they say, it does not. No. Based on what Reporters Without Borders say, it would not have.
I disagree, but I'm not going to labor the point. One last question for you, Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody who believes in a democracy and believes in a strong opposition, and on the outside looking on now, Raymond, I am still wondering, what are the plans that your party have going into the upcoming general election? Because I get the feeling that they just like I Cliff used a word the other day, slash and burn. That's the feeling I am getting. I am not seeing something that is direct and that you guys are putting forward to campaign on and stuff and all of that. And it's really troubling. So I don't know if you can highlight what's the plan of the PNP for the people of Jamaica, and as a party that has been in opposition now for quite some time. What is that plan that you guys are offering the electorate?
Oh, he should have started with that question first. But all I can say for now is that the presentations made by Mr. Mark Golding, the leader of the opposition and president of the party, and Mr. Julian Robinson, the opposition spokesman on finance, did cover a vast array of what we seek to implement. So impactful were those presentations that almost immediately the government started. You don't have to. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
go ahead.
You don't have to repeat my name 3 times for emphasis. But the country knows that my name is Raymond Franklin Theodore Price. So instead of saying Raymond, next time say Raymond Franklin Theodore. But the point I'm making is that the presentations by Julian Robinson and Mark Golding did encapsulate what the plans are. What you're speaking about is a manifesto, and that manifesto, when it is published, believe you me, I will volunteer to come and sit with Tana and invite you in as a guest, if she would allow, and have you say to the public how impressed you are with the plans in the manifesto of the People's National Party, because you shall be impressed.
Anthony?
I am looking forward to it. Yes,
Okay.
Tana, thank you very much.
And I'm squeezing in one more. Mr. Portmore, make it quick.
Why, it's a pity I'm so short. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, go ahead,
It's a
Mr.
really
Portmore.
One thing, okay, let me ask you something, Mr. Price. You seem to be a man who tells the truth, right? Your party leader stated that the media houses were bought out by the JLP. What is your answer to that? What is your opinion on that?
Well, follow the money. Are you doing any analysis of your own as to, for example, whether a station such as, and am I permitted to mention other stations? No, let me not.
No.
Let me not. If station A receives, say, 15 ads from government agencies and station B receives 0, the argument could be that station A is more valuable because of reach, because of expertise, because of audience segment.
I'm going to stop you right there, Surprise.
You're going to ask. You're going to.
Nationwide has been carrying your programs, your party's agendas and all of that.
You're going to
And
ask
you
a
have
question
never
and then
ever-
stop me
you have-
from answering?
Yes, because you're going around the corner and I don't have much time.
Oh no, I'm seated in the studio.
Your party have never ever come out and give Nationwide any work. And see here, you're on Nationwide. So it shows that there's no animosity between the PNP and Nationwide.
I don't know why you thought there was.
Because of you hear the answer that you gave me. And
No,
I'm
but
telling
no, you
that-
can't.
that's why I
You
stopped
can't.
right there, because
You can't
that's
say
what I'm saying.
you can't say that you heard the answer I gave you because you didn't allow me to give you the answer for the question you asked.
I am far more older than you. I'm very more aligned with what is going on.
Okay.
And if you start something, I know exactly where it's going.
Okay. Oh, so you have the gift of premonition
Yes.
and the gift of prescience.
Anything you want to say. You as a politician, you are backing your party. You understand?
No, I'm promoting my party. But you see, you ask a specific question, and if you don't like my style of answer, that's fine. But there's never a time that I'm going to be asked a question without citing evidence. So you are impatient of the evidence, which is your prerogative, so that's fine too.
What you're saying to me is that if point A gets more...
No, I never said point A. Let me try again. Listen again, right?
So, Mr. Portmore, we're going to take Raymond's response, and we're out of time, so we won't have the back and forth, the countering this morning because we're out of time, but Raymond will allow you to give that response as we go to data protection that's coming up next.
Mr.
I'm going to nice it up because I'm not there, you know?
No, I'm
And
not.
This is how the PNP are.
Right, go ahead with your response, Raymond, as we go to data protection.
Yeah, well, put it this way, Mr. Portmore. As much as I love a debate, Raymond Price JA, 6 p.m. this evening, I'll go live and I'll invite your questions.
Let's see.
I'll try. I'll try to be there.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Going to a break for data protection.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Still using a spreadsheet to track personal data processing? Still hearing different definitions of data controller from every department? You're not alone. This is Data Protection Matters, powered by Design Privacy, and I'm your host, Chuka Emeka Cameron. Let's talk about the real blocker facing privacy teams. No central record of processing, no shared language, no clarity. In most organizations, systems owner means one thing to IT, processing means something else in HR, and data access, that depends on who you ask. This chaos creates real risk. Poor visibility into your data flows, inconsistent or confusing records, slow reactive compliance. And here's the truth. You can't scale what you can't standardize. That's why the record of processing blueprint from Design Privacy comes in. It's not just a form. It's a system that helps you map processing activities in one place, use shared language across all teams, sync with risk logs and vendor reviews, and yes, generate a full record of processing with one click. It turns confusion into clarity through structure, shared vocabulary, and repeatable processes. Here's a quick story. A Jamaican company had no ROPA, 15 departments, each using different terms. Then they rolled out the record of processing blueprint using Design Privacy's drop-down Excel toolkit. Now, everyone's on the same page. The record of processing is mapped, searchable, and always audit ready. And if that sounds like what you have been meaning to fix, good news. We're hosting a free webinar on May 15 called Compiling Your Registration Particulars Made Easy. Stick around for details. And yes, when you register, you'll get our registration particulars template as a free download. Now, here is how the record of processing blueprint works. 5 steps, easy to follow. Step 1. Start with the org chart. List every department that handles personal data. HR, IT, sales, finance, marketing. Step 2. Use standardized terms. Label processing activities using shared vocabulary. Select data subjects like employee or clients. Choose data types like contact info, like employee or clients. Choose data types like contact info or health data. Step 3. Log recipients and transfers. Who sees the data? Internally, externally, and any international transfers. Add the safeguards in place. Step 4. Assign legal bases. Consent, contract, legal obligation. Stick to one phrasing everywhere. Step 5. Upload it all into the record of processing generator. Centralized, version controlled, ready to export with one click. There's a myth. You can't standardize privacy. Every organization is different. The truth? Standardization is how privacy scales. With a common language and toolset, your record of processing becomes easier to maintain, easier to audit, and easier to explain to the regulator. Let's recap. With the record of processing blueprint, you'll align your teams, build one source of truth, connect privacy to real operations. No more version control headaches. No more jargon ping pong. Just a record of processing that works. Join our free webinar on May 15, Compiling Your Registration Particulars Made Easy. Just visit our website at designprivacy.io to register. That's designprivacy.io. designprivacy.io. And when you do, you'll get our registration particulars template absolutely free. Let's replace the chaos with clarity. See you next week.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Suzuki, I give you deals on deals. So here's the deal. Purchase a Suzuki XL7 Jimny 5-door Bronx or Grand Vitara from as low as $4.89 million and enjoy huge savings of up to $500,000 off on select models. Plus 5 years warranty, free vehicle tracking, and 2 years free scheduled servicing. No, that's a deal. Offer valid at Stewart's Automotive Group, Southgate Road, Kingston, and Iron Trauma Bay. Stop by for a test drive. Follow Suzuki Jamaica for more details. Conditions apply. Suzuki, I give you deals on deals.
Haughton's RX, the caring pharmacy, the Yes We Can pharmacy, the Yes It's in Stock pharmacy, the House Call Delivery pharmacy, the RX Pack mobile app pharmacy, the RX Plus digital wallet pharmacy, the 20% reward pharmacy, the easy to remember number pharmacy, 876 RX0RXRX, the easy access 24/7 pharmacy, Haughton's RX, the convenient pharmacy, hashtag wellness, hashtag simply delivered.
And vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside greens to golden shores,
we're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
Welcome back to Nationwide This Morning, NTM, and welcome to this week's episode of Tax and You, brought to you by Tax Administration Jamaica. The government of Jamaica has extended the special arrears settlement program to give some taxpayers who may want to take advantage of the opportunity adequate time to settle their arrears and be up to date with their tax payments.
Joining us this morning is Project Lead for the Special Arrears Settlement Program, SASP, and General Manager at the Montego Bay Revenue Service Center, Mr. Keeble Downey. Good morning, Mr. Downey.
Good morning, Raymond. Good morning, Tana. Good morning to your listeners.
All right, Sir Downey, for those who are joining us for the first time or may not have otherwise heard about the Special Arrears Settlement Program, tell us again, what is the SASP?
All right, Raymond, so you're quite correct. The last time we talked on this program, we had come to almost the end of the program, which was March 31, 2025. And as you said, this program has been extended to May 31, 2025. Now, what this means is that our taxpayers who have over 140,000 accounts with arrears now have an opportunity to pay their principal balances and to get a waiver of the interest, penalty, and surcharges on these accounts. So, I need just to mention that as of April 2025, our non-government arrears stood at $128 billion. And of this, 65% was IPS, interest, penalty, and surcharge. So we're talking about $83 billion worth of interest, penalty, and surcharge, which means that we had about $43 billion representing principal balances. So the Special Arrears Settlement Program is an initiative by Tax Administration and Tax Administration Jamaica and the Government of Jamaica that provides an opportunity for all persons, businesses, whether they're self-employed, company, or organization, to clear these debts without the additional costs typically associated with late filing and payments related to a number of our tax types. So this is what the program is about.
And Mr. Downey, for those out there who fall in this category, what do they need to do?
All right, so the categories really, just need to quickly mention individual income tax, company income tax, PAYE, partnership income tax, education tax, special consumption tax, general consumption tax, and asset tax. So what these persons need to do is to just meet the basic requirements of this program. First of all, anyone who wishes to benefit from this program really must have filed all outstanding returns related to the tax types that are covered under this program, which I just gave. Now, that's the filing obligation. There is also the payment obligation, which means that in order to benefit now, our taxpayers would need to make payment on their principal balances, either pay off or pay down and get a waiver based on the amounts paid.
Oh, so they don't have to pay the full thing.
Well, they don't have to. We would love for them to pay the full thing.
Well, of course.
But we do understand, in fact, there are quite a number of our customers who have large balances. Mm-hmm. And we believe that even if they're not able to pay all, they can pay down some, of course, and take advantage of the waiver that is on offer at the moment.
All right, and do they have to make an application in order to benefit from the waiver?
Well, this only applies to our general consumption tax persons. The law requires that an application be made to the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, and we have made this quite easy, so our taxpayers can just visit any one of our tax offices island-wide, 29 tax offices island-wide, and submit that application, or we provide an opportunity on our e-services platform for the applications to be made.
Is it the subscription that you're getting or the feedback that you're getting that resulted in TAJ saying, let's extend it until the end of May?
Well, we realize that there is a healthy appetite to take up this program. In fact, we had a target of $10 billion to collect as at March 31. We actually collected $11 billion. And that indicated to us that our customers really had a great appetite to take up the offer. Now, since then, we have realized that there are customers that were not able to meet that deadline for one reason or another. We know they're talking with their boards. We know they're talking with their management teams. We know they're seeking loans. And those are some of the reasons why this program was, in fact, extended to May 31 this year.
Mm-hmm. So the new deadline, May 31, for persons out there, you owe the TAJ. You have an opportunity now to go in, and you don't have to pay as as Mr. Downey is saying, the entire thing. You can make a down payment. The point is you go in and you make that effort to start
making the payments.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
Any final words, Mr. Downey?
Yes, you really don't have to come into our offices. You really can make these payments online. We have quite a number of options available to our customers, so you don't need to come into our offices to make the payment. And of course, we want to make a special appeal to persons and businesses that have never filed or paid taxes. Now is an opportunity, because under this program, you can file all outstanding returns and make the relevant payments and not incur the usual interest, penalty, and surcharges
Indeed.
that would have been placed on these accounts. So now is a great time for all persons, businesses, whether you're self-employed, really to make contact with us. In fact, our compliance officers are talking to a number of our customers. But we also know that as they are listening this morning, a number of them can, in fact, just reach out to TAJ through our customer care center, 888-TAX-HELP. That's 888-829-4357. And as I said, visit any one of our tax offices island-wide. We also provide an opportunity for our customers to visit our website at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm.
Sir Keeble, a listener on YouTube, Clarence777, is asking, they said that they've cleared the requirements for the GCT waiver and would want to know how they would be notified of the waiver being applied, or when will the write-off be done. I'm not sure you actually said a write-off, but I think you get the gist of what the listener is asking.
Yes, we do. And that's an important question, and thank you for the question, because our systems are now being configured to effect the waiver for our GCT customers. And so as soon as the program is complete, we will begin to see the waiver being applied. What we want to do is to provide an opportunity up to May 31, or as many customers as possible to take advantage of the waiver. Thereafter, our systems will be so configured to have these penalties, these interest and surcharges removed. So we're asking our customers to be a little bit patient, allow as many persons to file and pay, and take advantage of the waiver. However, even outside of GCT, I can say to you that as early as next week, our income tax customers and customers for the other tax types will begin to see the waiver being applied.
Kibu Downey, the project lead for the Special Arrears Settlement Program, SASP, and General Manager at the Montego Bay Revenue Service Center. Thank you so much this morning, Sir Kibu.
Our pleasure. Thank you for having me.
In the Tax and Use segment. Gonna take a break now for our birthdays.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:51 a.m.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King Stacker. Choose your style, double, triple, or quad stacked. Order the new BK Mega Stacker today.
Last night I dreamt of San Pedro, just like I'd never gone. I knew the song, young girl with eyes like the desert. It all seems like yesterday, not far away. Tropical, the island brings all the nature wild and free. This is where I long to be, La Isla Bonita. And when the sound was played, the sound was set so high, ring through my ears and sting my eyes, your Spanish lullaby.
That time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Happy birthday greetings going out. This one says to our Bunananas aunt, Gwendolyn Crow in Hatfield, Manchester, wishing her God's continued grace and blessings. Tell her we love and admire her strength and resilience. We celebrate her today and the rest of the month. Greetings coming from her sisters, brothers, friends, neighbors, and especially the battalion of nieces and nephews, especially Danita, Lynette, Garth, Latoya, Matthew, and Ringo. They're saying to you, we love you, Aunt Gwen.
All right, this is not a birthday greeting, but I see Annie Smith is enjoying the music. She says music and a fire emoji and a whole heap of music notes emoji, enjoying the La Isla Bonita. Happy birthday to Angela Groves. Angela Groves is from Portmore Villas out in East Central St. Catherine. And this one says a very happy birthday. It's coming from Marcia and the boys to their father and her husband Randall. They appreciate everything you do for them and wish you a long, happy, and healthy life.
Happy birthday going out. This one says to her cousin Veril Boucher of Chudley Path, Manchester, wishing you a splendid birthday and God's continued blessings and success. Greetings coming from your wife, your mom, your sisters, your brothers, your nieces, nephews, and cousins, especially your favorite birthday girl, Danita. Love you, cuz. So happy birthday to you, Veril.
All right, and Nicole Whitaker says happy birthday to me. So happy birthday, Nicole. Wishing you all the best for today and the year ahead.
Over on Facebook, happy birthday greetings going out to Michael Dunkley, Kayanda Edwards, Shanice Nelson. Happy birthday as well to Conroy Sanderson. Happy birthday to you, Conroy. Wishing for you a great day.
All right. And it was Taurus season, right?
It is.
Yes.
It is. Elaine Williams sending happy birthday. She says to my Jamaican Kamar Williams. Okay, so happy birthday to you, Kamar Williams from Elaine. Wishing for you a good day. Who else is on the B-Day list? Anybody else celebrating their birthday today or their anniversary? Do let us know so that we can wish you a special one.
All right. When is your birthday, Tana?
It went.
It went.
It was actually last week Friday.
What? Happy belated birthday.
Thank you,
Oh, you're a
Raymond.
Taurian too.
I am. When is your birthday?
May 28th.
What?
Gemini season loading.
Yes. All right. So we'll remember that one when it comes up, Raymond, to wish you a happy birthday. Selected Designs is sending special birthday greetings to Crystal Murray Vassal. Happy birthday to you, Crystal. Greetings coming from Roberta.
I see David Nibar says he's celebrating life, not just a birthday, celebrating life.
I support that.
Yes, indeed.
If there are no more birthdays, but if you are celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King Stacker. Choose your style, double, triple, or quad stacked. Order the new BK Mega Stacker today.
Your heart is not open, so I must go. The spell has been broken. I loved you so. Freedom comes when you learn to let go. Creation comes when you learn to say no. You were my lesson. I had to learn. I was your fortress. You had to burn. Pain is a warning that something's wrong. I pray to God that it won't be long. There's nothing left to try. There's no place left to hide. There's no
Jillian Coleman sending happy birthday greetings to Ajani Givens. Happy birthday to you, Ajani, coming from your stepmom, Jillian, and dad, Shane Givens, wishing for you a good day. Happy birthday greetings going out to Nadine Forbes. Special birthday greetings to you, Nadine, celebrating your birthday today. Greetings coming from your friends and your family and all the members of your Scotia Insurance family. Have an absolutely amazing day. Very important birthday here as well. VIB greetings going out to Lorna Gordon Elliott, celebrating your birthday today. Greetings coming from your daughter and all of your family members and friends, wishing for you a good one.
A quick one here. Happy birthday to Ajani Givens, coming from stepmother Jillian and father Shane Givens.
And Erica Smith is sending happy birthday to Nicole Whitaker. Enjoy your special day, Erica is saying to you, Nicole. So happy birthday to you.
And of course, yesterday was Teachers' Day.
It was.
Happy belated Teachers' Day. And I think Nurses' Day, this week is an important week. And I see the month of May, Tana, all the important observations and observances. You have Teachers' Day, Read Across Jamaica
It's
Day.
Child's Month.
Child's Month, Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best people are born in May.
You see where so Tana understood the assignment immediately.
Of course. But before you go, Raymond, before we go, I must do the bingo as well with you. How Jamaican are you? Bathe in a river out a door?
Out a door.
Okay. Call everywhere besides Kingston Town?
Yeah.
On the Dutch pot?
Cook the chicken liver in the Dutch pot. It tastes better that way. You have to own a Dutch pot.
Okay. Play gospel music to clean on Sundays?
No, I don't clean on Sundays.
Oh.
It's a Saturday thing. We go to church on Sunday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Own Jamaican branded things?
Yes, I do.
Have a reggae or dancehall playlist?
I do.
Get licked from your parents as a child?
Lick? that was on the days when them never won't bother.
Bucket toe on furniture?
Oh, constantly.
Cook out a door?
Yes.
Go market to buy produce?
Yes.
Run down the ice cream man?
I used to do that, yes.
Brought Nutribullet at school? Or bought Nutribullet at school? You got it?
No, never got any.
Never got it?
No.
Oh,
it did cut out by that time.
Okay. Called out serve in a shop?
You have to, hold them when know if you come from round our back and come serve you.
Went on a trip to Dunsborough Falls?
Yes.
Stop everything to watch the Olympics?
Yes.
Stole meat out of the pot?
Yes.
Walk barefoot?
Constantly. I don't like shoes.
Climb tree as a kid?
Yes, still do.
Wash with the scrip sound?
I can't get the sound, but I wash.
Yeah. Went to Grand Market?
Yes, I went to Grand Market a lot.
Final four. Eat rice and peas and chicken on Sundays?
Yes.
Sang Jamaica Boom for the national anthem?
Even when I don't want to. It just happens.
Yeah. Had your foot drawn on paper for shopping for shoes?
Thank you, Uncle Cecil. Thank you, Auntie Rita. Thank you, Auntie Paulette.
Yeah, there
Then
you go.
draw it and post it.
And a final one. Been to every parish?
I've been to every parish. That's the advantage of doing environmental sciences. And then, of course, politics does take you to every nitty-gritty of the country. Yeah, man, every nook and cranny. Yeah.
Raymond, it was a pleasure having you this morning, guest
Thank you.
co-hosting with me. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, man, I really enjoyed it. And I just want to say the vibe of your YouTube commentators.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Guys, I take it all in good faith. It wouldn't be as interesting if it was not for your comments.
Raymond Price, the standard bearer, PNP standard bearer in East Central St. Catherine. Thank you so much again for coming in. This has been Nationwide this morning. Thanks so much to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King, our super producer, Michelle McCrae Smith, and our super editor, Kimone Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tana.
I'm Raymond.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
JIS Radio presents Roundabout JA, a 5-minute feature on local news, ideas, people, places, and things. Roundabout JA.
Jamaicans are known for their flexibility, for being able to turn away and make fashion. And now that skill set is needed more than ever. I'm